WMXF Waynesville and iHeart radio station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. The new Women's World Cup champions from Spain will not play again for their country unless Federation President Luis Rubiales either resigns or is fired. Rubiales is under fire for his behavior after the team beat England Sunday for the title. The NFL preseason wraps up this weekend. The Jets play the Giants at the Meadowlands tomorrow night. Aaron Rodgers will play for the Jets. ESPN's Dan Graziano.
They have reached a point where they feel like what they need going into the season is some real game action with him at quarterback and all his guys around him listening to, his voice in the huddle.
Dan Graziano, this will be Rodgers' first preseason action since 2018. There are 3 games tonight. ESPN's Jeremy Fowler reports Titans quarterback Will Levis not expected to play against the Patriots. Levis has a thigh injury. Second round of the PGA Tour Championship in Atlanta. Scotty Scheffler, Colin Morikawa, Victor Hovland share the lead at 11 under. Coverage of feature groups and holes on ESPN+.
How would you love a chance to save some money on car insurance? Geico can help. Switch today and see all the ways you could save with great rates and discounts. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com to get a rate quote and get started seeing how much you could save.
In the heart of Beer City, USA, 2 men, 1 journey to create a sports show unlike any other. Unfiltered, raw, and honest. One of them played a soccer goalie opposite Ben Stiller. The other once scored 6 points on Steph Curry. These guys know their shit. Let's go! Tank Spencer, Jeremy Green, the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy for
Football Friday.
Yeah, it's Football Friday, the first of the season, because we have bangers today. 3 separate sets of bangers, end of each hour. I mean, look, he only had like 8 games to work from.
7.
But still worked up a full load of just banger picks for you to make some money this weekend.
Made some jokes, killed some time. Here we are. And now you can find them on the Tic Tac. You'll be able to see the full video of me absolutely losing my mind later on this evening on the YouTubes and the Facebook.
So we got all your picks for you to make some money this weekend. I mean, if you're into the college football thing, yeah, it starts off this weekend. I mean, Navy and Notre Dame's going to be okay. I mean, it'd be cool for the pageantry.
Look, I mean, here's the thing. A lot of you, if you're watching us on the stream, you probably see that my hair is down, which is weird. The bangers brought that out of me.
Yes.
And it smells like coconut and grapefruit in here, and it's just lovely.
It has given off quite the aroma, and I'll be honest with you, I'm a big fan of it.
Yeah.
Because the way you normally smell is not like that.
Beer, fireball, shame, regret, and anger.
And Taco Bell. Leftover Taco Bell.
Boom.
San Jose State and USC this weekend as well in college football. It's the last week of the preseason.
Basically.
Who cares?
This is we all just lather up to remember where we're supposed to place bets, which is betus.com. Use our promo code Sportsocracy for 125% deposit bonus.
Yep.
You will hear that a lot of times over the next 22 weeks.
Just wrap yourself in it like a warm blanket fresh out of the dryer.
Breathe it in, man.
Football season has arrived. And preseason action last night.
How much of that did you watch?
None.
You should have, because Anthony Richardson, he is exactly what I told you he was. He will make the most perfect throw. And he had one last night over the middle. It was phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
And then
what happened?
He'll airmail the next one by 15 yards. And you go, but how did the same person do that in back-to-back plays?
I say none of it. I did turn it on for a second, just in enough time to see Anthony Richardson try to hand off to the running back then fumble it for 5 yards in the air in his hands, finally secure it, and run out of bounds for a first down. And I went, actually, you know what? Justin Fields has done that for 2 years, and he's been pretty okay. So this Anthony Richardson thing might be fine.
I will say doing the fly Eagles fly thing when your first stringers scored on their third stringers, I wouldn't do that because that made you look kind of dumb. But over the last 24 hours, we've had a lot of people do things that made them look dumb. I'll tell you one of them later in this hour. 6'3", 215.
Yeah. Pittsburgh Steelers, Atlanta Falcons. I mean, Falcons apparently didn't play anybody again.
No, they played Taylor Heineke for a handful of snaps, and then they went, we're getting just smoked, so let's put in Logan Woodside and let him be bad. If Pittsburgh is half the team in the regular season that they've been in the preseason, we're all underselling them.
Well, I mean, every drive that Kenny Pickett's been on the field, they've scored a touchdown.
5 drives, 5 touchdowns.
Yeah. Maybe not necessarily due to anything spectacular that he did. I mean, it's still Pittsburgh Steeler football, right? I mean, we're just going to chunk it, get it close, pound it in, be done with it. Hey, we got a whole bunch of 17-point ball games.
I mean, look, I would say Pittsburgh's been the most impressive team of the preseason. Now, a lot of people are losing their minds about that in ways that don't necessarily make a lot of sense.
I was going to say $1, that and $2.50 will get you a Pepsi these days.
There you go. Biden economy. Let's go. Everything's getting more expensive.
Right. I mean, I think you're right. I mean, Pittsburgh, we know they have the defense. The only real question you had was whether or not they'll be able to block for the backs, and that line got better. They'll be able to run more efficiently than they did last year.
Well, the defense is fantastic.
And Kenny Pickett is going to be just good enough to keep them competitive. I mean, he doesn't – again, this is one of those things. You don't have to be a star to lead a team like this.
No, I heard Colin Cowherd say something earlier about franchise quarterbacks and how you get a franchise quarterback, and that really doesn't matter. Yeah, I couldn't disagree with that anymore if I tried. But the big thing is, do you have one? And I feel like Kenny Pickett can be one. I don't know that it's a great one, but he's a starter in this league.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it last year. I've thought it throughout the entire preseason. He's fine.
Right.
And you put that cast of characters around him, the offensive line looks terrifying. The defense is killing people. Josh Allen will see the Pittsburgh Steelers logo in his nightmares for an extended period of time. So I'm not overreacting the way I'm hearing a lot of other people because it is the preseason.
Right.
But they have looked fantastic.
They have, and there's something to be said for that. There's something to be said for looking like you've got it together already, because that's what they're doing. I mean, this is Pittsburgh Steeler football. This is Mike Tomlin's got his guys. We're not going to overdo it. We're going to trot them out there, couple of series. Let's see what we look like. We're going to run our thing, and we're just going to have we're going to have the groove. We're going to be, we want to be in week 4 form by the time everybody else is looking like they're in week 1 form. And that's exactly where they're at. I don't know that I've seen a few reactions to the game last night, and I don't think that anybody's being overzealous about them. I'm not hearing anybody say that the Pittsburgh Steelers are Super Bowl contenders. No, it's a solid playoff team. And if you're going to, if you're bringing your lunch pail to the AFC North this year, you need to be on it. Because that's the toughest damn division in football. And I don't think it's all that close. What?
I saw something that we'll talk about later in the show.
Oh. I was like, what is happening right now? The Pittsburgh Steelers they look like they're ready for a playoff run. And they've got all the talent to do it. Hopefully they'll stay healthy. They'll get all the all the breaks in that manner. And we will have an all-time race with 4 teams who I've done several simulations of this season in my head, and 7 times out of 10, I come up with every one of these teams having double-digit wins.
Yeah, I've never come to that conclusion. Not one time. because that makes my brain hurt.
It's possible.
They're all 10 win level good.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is not going to.
Probably not.
History will tell
But
you
it could
one of them
happen.
is going to disappoint. And I'm more confident now than I've ever been that it's not going to be Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're the safest team in the division. I would say even safer than Cincinnati.
I don't know if I can go
Name
that
me
far.
one thing that derails the Pittsburgh Steelers. Injury,
Injury?
loss of a player,
Yeah.
anything. Name me one that derails the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I mean, you get a couple of losses.
No.
On the line
No.
and
That's
you're
not what I
done.
said. I said name me one singular thing that could happen that derails Pittsburgh. I'll give you a
I don't
hint.
know.
There's not one.
I don't know.
I was, TJ Watt goes down. Cool. I got Alex Highsmith,
Right, we
and
did
I got
that
a couple
last year.
vet guys that I brought in just in case that happens.
Right, we did that last year.
Cincinnati. Joe Burrow goes to wax surfboards. What is that team all of a sudden? With Jake Browning.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Is
Right.
that Pittsburgh has built a roster that is they're immune to one-offs. Now, I mean, half the team goes down. You have one of those years where you got 22 guys on IR that somebody has every single year, then you would have a problem. But that's a team of one because nobody on that team is bigger than the rest of the team.
Right.
And I'll be honest with you, the more time
That's a
goes
fair
on,
point.
the more I'm thinking Cleveland might be in better shape with Dorian Thompson-Robinson. I mean, I don't really mean that,
Right.
but
I would say if there was a spot, it would be in the secondary. They lose.
doesn't worry me that
They
much.
lose Joey Porter, or they lose Patrick Peterson. That's probably a problem. Levi Wallace, I did see a couple of plays of him last night, and he didn't look like he knew where he was. So, but it's preseason, I get it, and but Levi Wallace is not really cornerstone of a great defense, is he?
yeah, Evan Doyle said, what I learned last night, Pittsburgh's 1 and 2s are better than Atlanta's 3s and 4s. Let me tell you something unsettling about that. Atlanta started the starters. Bijan Robinson didn't play. Kyle Pitts defensively, that was all the ones. Minus, I think, Calais Campbell. Bud Dupree, yeah, he was out there. All the guys they're counting
defensively
out,
speaking.
yeah, they were out there.
Yeah.
That's what would scare me to death is, oh, my Lord, we got smoked like a honey ham, and that was our starters. To the point of Arthur Smith went, oh, no. Just how about you go sit down? You go get you a Gatorade. You did your part today.
See, I don't know how to take the Atlanta thing. I don't know what's going on with Arthur Smith and what his preseason idea is here. Because he sat his offensive starters last night. He sat them in the first one too. I think they played a series or two in the second game of the preseason. And why? I mean, we all believe that you're terrible. You should probably want to have the practice. You should probably want to be out there. Or is this like PR? I don't want you to see how bad our ones are, so we're just going to hold them back.
I don't know. I watched.
It makes no sense to me.
I watched a good bit of both games last night, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I saw 4 teams going at the preseason in a completely different way, and I can't tell you that any of them are better.
Oh, I can.
Any of the no, not that any of the teams are better. That any of their
The processes?
the processes are better.
I disagree. 'Cause
Well, the Rams
Pittsburgh's
did this.
process.
Well,
is
the Rams did
there.
this and won a Super Bowl where nobody played. They were playing the water boy.
Yeah, but you had superstars. I mean, I get why you did that. Atlanta, I have no understanding.
Nope,
on
we've already
you're-
talked about that.
You're horrible.
Arthur Smith, he banged his head on the ground or
Right.
something because none of that makes a lick of sense.
I mean, I want to go at this Mike Tomlin style. And maybe that's my old school attitude. That's me being the old man on the porch of Mike Tomlin plays old school football, runs a good culture, blah, 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 blah. Like, I want the guys out there. I want to see the reps. I want you in a little game speed by the time the season rolls around. To me, that's the perfect way to do this.
I just feel like Desmond, and we were talking about Atlanta and Pittsburgh.
Right.
I feel like Desmond Ritter would mess up a job on a trash truck. Like he jumps off and goes, "All right, got the trash. It's in the bucket, and now I'm supposed to throw it in your yard." Oh, it's supposed to go in the truck. That makes sense. I did that wrong. I didn't do so good.
Right.
Boss, I didn't do so good.
The preseason will continue tonight. We've got the Carolina Panthers and the Detroit Lions at Bank of America Stadium.
I feel like there's got to be a drinking game you could play with the preseason.
That will be aired on our sister station Rock 105.1 because of high school football on 92.9.
Yeah, you're back on deck for that one.
570 and on
Jeremy's
AM
going
1400.
to CB's. And I've been here all day. I gotta go.
Right.
I gotta go home. Good night.
Sports Tank Friday at 6:30 tonight. Buncombe County High School football game of the week. Shelby coming in to take on Reynolds. That's on 92.9 FM and on WWNC 570 WWNC.
You think you'd know that?
Well,
you have to do that every
I had
morning.
a heart attack last week, and
You know what? I think you've milked that as far as you can milk
Oh,
it.
no way. No
you
way.
worked a full week here.
No
I think
way.
I think we've gotten as far as we're getting on that one.
I pulled that out on my wife last night. I was doing stuff in the kitchen, and I left a cabinet open, and she hates that. And she comes and she goes, "Have you not learned how to close a cabinet in 15 years?" I went, "I had a heart attack."
First of all, no, you didn't. Second of all, your impression of your wife is, it's funny to me.
It's
I don't know
spot
how
on.
she'd feel about it.
Spot on.
You better be
That
glad.
high level.
You better be glad she doesn't listen to this show. You better hope it's not one of those random days that she nested in.
Yeah,
Or I'll go ahead and tell you that
the
heart
comments.
attack ain't going to save you. That heart attack will not save you based on that.
Oh, wait. I called the doctor. He told me you're actually supposed to wait 4 months before you can resume activities. That's how she'll respond.
Yeah. How'd that work?
Didn't think that through. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
Are you Beer City's best fantasy football player? Your chance to prove it is back. The Sportsocracy's Battle for the Belt is back for year 2 with 2 ways to win. Our standard contest and the new Eliminator Challenge for the most hardcore of football fans. Play fantasy football with us every week of the NFL season and compete for a cause with proceeds benefiting Evelyn Charity's St. Nicholas Project. Register today at thesportsocracy.com and take your shot at the title of Beer City's fantasy football champion.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Help clear away classroom bacteria. Kill 99.9% of germs and first-day jitters. Disinfect desks. Get rid of sticky surfaces. And sanitize the room. For less obstacles and more studying. When you get to a clean slate, the possibilities are endless. Clorox. Start clean. Always use products as directed.
In a world where thrills never stop, $1 million is on the line. And your fate is decided every 4 minutes by a bunch of random numbers with...
Dan, I think Keno's exciting enough without you doing the voice.
But my talents add a little something, right?
I guess.
Carolina Keno, $1 million thrills every 4 minutes.
Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds to win. A price range from 1 to 3.86 to 16.63. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Does your knee pain keep getting worse? How about that pain in your shoulder or hip or back? Don't let them tell you steroids and surgery are the only option. Take my advice now and call QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics can make that pain go away with all-natural advanced regenerative medicine. They're helping people here every day with these amazing natural treatments that restore and repair damaged joint tissue. It's like turning back the clock. Regenerative medicine uses concentrated healing agents from your own body to stimulate that damaged tissue in your joints so they can work like they are supposed to. And there's zero downtime. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in this exciting medical breakthrough. Patients here are getting real lasting relief and are saying no to surgery and drugs. If you have pain due to injury or arthritis, this is a remarkable option that you need to check out. And the consultation is free. Call QC Kinetics now, 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517 in Asheville and in Greenville.
The Sportsocracy.
Pull up your pants, take off the bra, and be a man!
It's ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. It's a football Friday. Don't forget, you can get in on the Battle for the Belt, our weekly DFS contest. 2 separate contests this year. You got the standard contest and the Eliminator Challenge. 2 professionally made wrestling belts on the line. How about that as well? Bray Wyatt.
That's insane.
Good Lord. My mom always said they come in threes, right? Celebrity deaths come in threes. That was Terry Funk, Bray Wyatt. Let's hope we don't get a third.
No, that was an awful story.
Yes.
If you haven't seen the video of Booker T was on a radio show when it broke. If you haven't
did he
seen
break
that,
down?
He didn't break down. He had the same response I did of, what? Because I don't know Bray personally, but he's a friend of a friend.
Mm-hmm.
He was actually roommates in college with a friend of mine.
Right.
And I was dumbfounded. He's the same age I am.
Yeah.
You know. And, I mean, there were apparently rumors that something had been going on, that he'd had medical issues.
Yeah, he'd been dealing with some kind of heart issue or something. And one story I read said he had COVID earlier in the year, and it caused some breathing problems and some stress on his heart. And it looked as if he was getting better, like in the last few weeks. He was apparently close to making a return, and then all of a sudden, just heart attack. Sucks.
This is awful.
36 years old. It's very, very sad. But anyway, Battle for the Belt. We've got 2 contests this year. You want to get in on the contest, play with us each and every week. Proceeds from this going to our good friends over at Evelyn Charities, the St. Nicholas Project. We've got all the links in the description of the YouTube video and also on the front page of the website, thesportsocracy.com. Preseason football.
Hold on before we move on.
I'm sorry.
If you want your name or your business on the shirts, I need to know that by the end of next week.
Okay.
They are going to the printers, so they will be here before it's not T-shirt weather.
Yeah, if you'd like to get your business on as a sponsor for the Battle for the Belt,
I've got 3 spots left for that.
Yep. Reach out to Jeremy at thesportsocracy.com.
I should change my email address to he'sabigdumbbear@gmail.com.
3 games tonight in the preseason: Panthers and the Lions. We got the Patriots and the Titans, Chargers and the 49ers, and then you got a slew of games tomorrow, 1 game on Sunday. You spend more time watching preseason football or early week 0 college football?
I will watch probably every second of Notre Dame Navy, and I will probably watch every second of USC San Jose State.
Mm-hmm.
I will bet every other game, which I will give you bangers at the end of every hour of this here program. Painstakingly done. And you'll be able to see this on the TikTok and all the other things. So I won't watch any, like UMass, New Mexico State.
Not a second.
Yeah, I'm not lathering up to watch
Not
that.
a single second.
I can't do it. But, I mean, I will only watch a select few preseason games. This is the week that most teams just tap. And you see the Logan Woodsides like you saw last night.
Mm-hmm.
And Tanner McKee for the Eagles, who low-key, don't be shocked if he's the backup quarterback. He has been real, real good. Hey, you remember when I said that he should go in the first round and everybody told me I was out of my mind?
I do.
Yeah, weird. one preseason with the Eagles, and people are going, "Oh, Stanford was awful." They are. That's what that teams like Philadelphia. That's what you do. You find a talent like that. You go, I can bring him along slowly, and he looks like an NFL quarterback. That's one of the things I can always glean from the preseason. Do you look like an NFL quarterback? Ian Book never has, not one time. Last night, still didn't look like one. 4 years in, still looks like a guy that won like a fan contest to come take snaps with the fourth string. Tanner McKee?
You mean the Saints didn't break him?
No, he's the last string quarterback for the Eagles.
Okay, all right.
I did thoroughly enjoy hearing Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit last night say, well, these are meaningful snaps for Ian Book. Really?
Sure.
What do you think USFL scouts are watching right now? Going,
sure,
that's our next MVP.
You and I were talking about this earlier today with the Cleveland Browns making the quarterback moves that they made.
Well, the Kellen Mond thing is hilarious. I don't care who you are. We are waiving you before the last preseason game, which means we have no intention of bringing you back. That's what that means.
Mm-hmm.
Then the Arizona Cardinals call and say, hey, we'll give you a 5th-round pick for Josh Dobbs. They got to Josh and he's already – we've already bought the ticket. No takesy-backsies. Arizona just went nanners yesterday.
How's that possible?
Oh, what, did you give up a 5th-round pick for Josh Dobbs?
Pick.
I don't know. I think they made a slew of good trades, and Monty Ossenfort just went, I have to do something really stupid.
Yeah, I don't need that pick. You can have it.
5th-round pick. I got Houston's. It's fine. I got your 1st, 3rd, and 5th. Before the season's over, I'll probably convince him to come off at 2nd and 4th.
Although he might get some starts out of it, actually. I know
I
the
just don't know why you care.
But
I just don't understand why you care.
Because you're going into the season with Clayton Tune and what?
Colt McCoy.
Colt McCoy.
And what's your point? If you're gonna be bad, be bad. And they're trending in that direction.
But I was gonna say, don't you want to guard yourself against injury? Get that 3rd quarterback in, and we'll just because Kyler Murray's not playing. I'm convinced.
I can guard myself against that. How many bum quarterbacks can I find that could lather up and be my 3rd string?
I'm not saying I would have spent a 5th-round pick on him. I'm just saying he might end up starting some games.
If Josh Dobbs had a 4th-round pick in his pocket, he might be worth a 5th round. Just maybe. I'm not sure.
You're gonna hurt the Bidwell's food costs if you bring in another guy.
That's the bad thing. Josh Dobbs, his food bill just went through the roof.
Right,
like they don't even feed me lunch at the facility.
Can't even get free food at the facility. Oh, jeez. Yeah, I know. Stephen Tow's excited about his Ravens beating my Bucks this weekend. And when the games don't matter, I don't know why we care. But some of the snaps matter. Like when Kellen Mond plays for the Cleveland Browns, he's going to be auditioning for the Pittsburgh Maulers. Is that not worth your time?
The only thing that's funny to me is that Cleveland really looked at Kellen Mond and said, you have no future here. Bye. That same afternoon, but we didn't actually file the paperwork, and you still technically play here, so good luck. You're going to play everything but the first 2 series behind a makeshift line of guys that'll be working at the Home Depot next week.
Yep. This preseason game will be the biggest game Kellen Mond plays in the next 10 years of his life.
Well, other than the USFL championship game.
Yeah.
Which, he's probably a starter in.
Or the IFA All-Star game. I'm sure he'll be MVP. Tyler Huntley level Pro Bowler for the IFA.
Yeah, that's the in the IFA, their Pro Bowlers are actually Pro Bowlers.
Oh God!
I've told that joke for years, and he still laughs.
I still do every time because I get a picture in my head of like some just fat Pro Bowler,
Kellen Mond with
running
the
down
full,
the field
with the full the unitard look as a Pro Bowler.
Some dude who looks like a young Andy Reid, just trying to sling the ball to Uncle Rico.
So you mean somebody that looks like you?
Yeah, sort of.
There you go.
Sort of.
It looks like a young Andy Reid. That's probably the nicest thing one could say about one Tank Spencer.
Oh. It's the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN.
He had a heart
Asheville.
attack last week.
I
You
did.
be nice to him.
That's
He's
right.
still on the mend. Nope.
Shame on you.
Nope. He used up every one of those in 4 days. He had 50 of them. He used them up from Tuesday to Thursday.
Nope.
Now we're back to jokes.
Nope.
Speaking of that,
Meanness.
there is a very famous person that's in the news that has the same problem you do. And I'll tell you who that is after the break.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
We are tracking some thunderstorms in from the north, trying their best to come down from Virginia, and rich tropical air in play for the weekend, with thunderstorms likely late this weekend and early next week. Our temperatures in the mid-60s for tonight. Mostly sunny, hot weather. Saturday, upper 80s, near 90s. Feels like the heart of summertime here in Asheville. And thunderstorm chances Sunday, Monday, cooler numbers early next week. I'm meteorologist Scott Laria-Moore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples has everything you need for the office and the classroom for less. Now save even more with $50 off your print and marketing services order of $150 or more. Offer ends 8/26. Visit staples.com/print for details. Save for your business at Staples.
The annoying runny nose, the constant sneezing, the itchiness, and battle just to catch your breath. If you suffer from seasonal allergies, sinusitis, or nagging sinus congestion, there's a natural, easy-to-use solution that can help provide fast, drug-free relief. It's called Navage, and it uses powered suction to rinse your nasal passages in seconds. Millions of people use Navage daily to help provide relief from seasonal allergies and sinus congestion. Medications treat the symptoms, but Navage treats the problem at the source, flushing out the allergens and pollen trapped in your nose. Navage also helps wash out airborne bacteria, dust, dirt, and viruses quickly and painlessly, so you can get back to breathing clearly again. Say goodbye to sinus suffering and hello to better breathing with Navage. Navage is available at Walmart, Walgreens, Target, CVS, Rite Aid, and online at Navage.com. Navage, Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Gillette Intimate gives guys a gentle and easy shave on there. And around there, and even under there. Don't treat your groin like junk. Respect it with Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
For more information about contests on the station, log on to espnavl.com.
Tired of getting dinged by monthly fees on your checking account? You need Simple Checking from Home Trust Bank. With Simple Checking, you get all the essential checking services for free, including 100% online access and a free Visa debit card. It's everything you need from a checking account, but no hoops, no surprises, no monthly fees. Stop by today or call 800-627-1632. Simple Checking at Home Trust. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Attention, it's time for the morning announcements. Make sure your parents are aware of the Ingalls Tools for Schools program and ask them to link their Ingalls Advantage card to our school. Remember, you have to do it each year. Now please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy. It's ESPN Asheville. I went, wait, where's my story? I mean, see, heart attack. It just affects the brain cells and all kinds of stuff.
Nope, we're done with that.
I don't know where that. Nope, milking it for all she's worth. My just a bit outside story today is, holy cow, it sucks to be old, and also, where the hell did you come from? Kevin Hart realized just how bad it is to be over 40 as he got into a little foot race with a former NFL running back and ended up in a wheelchair. So he was racing Stephen Ridley. You remember him? The fantasy football darling of, what was that, 2007?
I do.
Used to play for the New England Patriots. That was actually 2012. Stephen Ridley went for 1,263 yards and 12 touchdowns in the season, and then we never really saw him again after that. But he came out of obscurity for an Instagram video with Kevin Hart, where they were going to have a foot race in the 40-yard dash. And Hart took about 4 steps, and then, as he says, all my bleep just tore. All of it. His everything in his abdominal area. Every muscle just ripped. He said, I tore my lower abdomen, my abductors. I don't even know what that is, but I tore them. I tore those loose too. I can't walk. I have to sit my ass down. This is 44. Yeah, being old sucks. But I wouldn't expect something like this from Kevin Hart, he's in really good shape.
I mean, he's in fine shape.
Right. Well, yeah, well, like way better shape than me.
Well, that's not saying much. You just had a heart attack. I'm gonna enjoy this.
Stretching that one out.
You certainly are. Last night we had something that we've never had in U.S. history. We had a former president get a mugshot taken. I don't want to talk about that. However, what I do want to talk about is, did you happen to notice the listing of his height and weight?
No.
Donald Lipizzaner Trump was
what?
He registered himself in the Fulton County Jail at 6'3", 215 pounds. Apparently, Donald Trump has the same problem with height and weight that Tank does. Now, I'm going to draw a comparison in the sports world. This is, if you're watching us on YouTube, that is a picture of Donald J. Trump. Next to him is Lamar Jackson, who's actually 6'3", 215. Now, I want you to stare at those. If you look at those two people side by side, there is a bit of a difference between those two. And oddly enough, I pulled a couple other people in the sports world that are also 6'3", 215.
Yeah, but muscle weighs more than fat.
Matthew Stafford is 6'3", 215. Recently retired New York Jet Corey Davis, 6'3", 215. Former Major League Baseball player, Asheville native, and my friend Cameron Maben, 6'3", 215.
Nice.
And finally, Jason Momoa, 6'3", 215. So, just so you all know that I will make jokes on both sides of the aisle, if Donald Trump is 6'3", 215, Jeremy is 7'8", 3 bills.
7'8".
And Tank, that is a way that Tank could also be 5'10". Apparently, you two learned to gauge your height together.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You are in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN.
Just for the record,
Asheville.
how tall are you?
I
According to yourself.
I am 5'10".
There we go. That's what we're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
If you've ever met Tank, you've ever met me, you know that I've got him by at least 9 inches.
Stop that.
So
not even close. You're apparently as tall as Stephen Tao now.
No.
Nice. All right. Man, I'm still so upset. I'm still so upset over this Florida thing. I can't do it. Did you get to watch the new Untold though? The docu.
Are you talking about Bishop Sycamore?
Yeah, the Bishop.
That's not Untold.
Oh, I thought it was.
No, that's on HBO.
Oh, I thought it was.
Yeah, that's on HBO,
Untold
and that
thing.
was championed by Michael Strahan.
Ooh,
and it's
ooh.
The coach of Bishop Sycamore. He is a crazy person.
So this one's worth watching.
I have not seen it. I've heard just in passing
That at least there's something there.
Yes,
there is a there.
Oh, because
there.
the coach basically walks in and goes, "Ha ha! I'm doing an interview with Michael Strahan. I win." Well, I mean, you're going to go to federal prison, so I don't know that you won. Depends on what you're trying to win. if that's what you were trying to win, then yes, winner, winner, chicken dinner, which apparently you ordered from your local grocery store and then didn't pick up and bought them on clearance because you are a badman.
Indeed.
But no, I haven't seen it. I did watch I watched another episode of the Swamp Kings last night, trying to give it another chance.
Mm-hmm. Still bad?
Yeah, the same thing I thought it was. It was the same thing in the next episode as it had been in the previous two.
Is the story that they tell about the on-field at least engaging?
Not really.
Not really?
No, it's like every other team. I mean, I think they were a little crazier in the weight room, but other than that, it's every other football story you've ever heard told. And look, I'm going to be honest with you, I hate sports movies. Detest them. You can get me with a documentary every once in a while if you do it in a real way. These do nothing for me. Oh, we worked really hard and we had Cliff Bars. Yeah, that some of you were apparently stealing from a convenience store. But you're leaving that part out, and it makes me really angry.
This is cut down week, right, in the NFL?
It is.
So, I mean, do you have your eye on anybody specifically to, like, this guy is fighting for his job this week? I've heard rumors about guys like Javon Kinlaw being on the cut list.
I struggle to believe they would cut him loose this quick.
And that's what I'm thinking.
I mean, because he came back in better shape. I don't think so. Like, Marcus Mariota is the first name that came to my mind.
Yeah.
Because I'm just not sure he's making that roster in Philadelphia.
Well, not if Tanner McKee's playing as well, as you say.
He's played better. In all reality, he has played better. In terms of anybody that I think could really change a narrative on them, I'm curious what the Baltimore Ravens are going to do at running back. Probably running back and receiver are the two positions I'm the most interested in because you've got a handful of teams, Denver, the Jets, that could use a receiver if one sprung free. And there's a few teams that could use a second or third running back in their committee. So I look like Melvin Gordon from Baltimore. Does he make the roster? Because he's playing in the second half with the backups. So that intrigues me to a point. I'm curious what Cincinnati does. How is that line going to look? Because it seems to me like Lyle Collins has just become the forgotten guy. It's Orlando Brown on the left, Jonah Williams on the right. Because they heard Jonah's not a left tackle.
Right.
But apparently they did not hear he's a guard. But we're getting closer, so I'm perfectly fine with that.
I was going to say, but is he not okay as a run blocker?
We're getting closer.
Okay.
So it's
just
growth.
Moving him to where he needs to be.
Got to take baby steps.
Is Zonovan Knight going to make your team?
No.
Oh. We'll gladly take him in Tampa Bay.
I mean, they'll probably try to put him through to the practice squad. I mean, the roster structuring now is so different because now you have 16 guys on the practice squad. You're able to keep that third quarterback as a non-dressed player that doesn't count against the 46.
Yeah.
You're not going to see that many guys break free. I mean, unless there's legit savings there. That's why Lyle Collins is interesting to me and a handful of others. But, I mean, you just don't have to. They've made it so easy now to keep all of these guys. You got to push them through waivers. And somebody asked me this, so I felt like I should clarify it, and now I can't remember who it was. So, yes, you do have to push players through waivers. It was they were asking about practice squad players and things like that. Yeah, you do have to subject them to waivers, but if a team claims them, they have to go on their 53. You can't claim a guy and then put him on the practice squad.
Right.
So, and there are rules of how long he has to stay on the active roster, or the other team can take him back. So, I mean, I don't know how much movement there's going to be. I don't know how many interesting names that you actually know. I mean, I'll use a team from last night. I don't know how many tight ends are going to make the Indianapolis Colts roster. But you got, just off the top of my head, you've got Mo Alley Cox, Jelani Woods, Will Mallory, and there was another one that actually caught a touchdown pass last night.
Yeah, Kylan Granson.
So
they love him, apparently.
That's 4. Are you carrying 4 tight ends?
Where is that going to hurt me elsewhere?
Any place that you carry an extra player, you're going to sacrifice depth somewhere else. The question is, do you carry somebody on the practice squad? So I'll use the team that I know the best, and the one that you asked me about was Zonovan Knight. Zonovan Knight's going to slide through the practice squad. Nobody's putting him on their active roster, I don't think. Not how bad he's been this preseason. So the Jets are only going to carry 3 running backs. It'll be Breece Hall, Dalvin Cook, Michael Carter.
Yeah.
And Abanikanda, maybe. But then Zonovan Knight's the 5 on the practice squad. I don't need to carry any more running backs.
Right. Yeah, I'm just as cut down days come, what are those final moves going to be? Who's going to pick up a depth piece that kind of locks everything in place? You see what I'm saying? To me, that's the most interesting part of the last week of the preseason.
Well, I mean, and again, that's the thing is, unless it's a vet guy, there's not a whole lot of chance that you're going to lose that guy. Because you can slide all these guys through, all these high-end 6th, 7th round picks, undrafted free agents. You can slide them through because nobody has the roster spot to keep them. So I may want this guy, but I can't put him on my active roster.
Yeah.
So then they all just go through, and you only see some mid-tier veteran free agents actually move.
Another name I've heard mentioned as possibly on the cut line is Clyde Edwards-Helaire
if he makes that roster, they did it wrong.
With the Kansas City Chiefs. They could save $1 million by getting rid of him, and he's really worthless to them at this point.
If he makes that roster, they did it wrong.
Right. I have Isaiah Pacheco and I have Jerick McKinnon.
And LaMichael Piron, who's been really good for them this preseason. He's looked better than Helaire.
Come back.
Yeah, he was. I mean, he got schemed out by the Jets. He was drafted by a previous regime, and
he also got hurt, didn't he? He
had a couple injury issues, but he couldn't run in that zone blocking scheme that LaFleur tried to implement.
Right. How do you feel about that, by the way? How do you feel about Rob Salah putting the starters out there for the Giants game this weekend?
I hate it with every fiber of my being.
And I thought you might, because when I heard that and I heard him say, I want to get, I realized that Aaron Rodgers hadn't played a preseason game in 19 years, but I want him out there. I want him to feel the game energy. I want to put him out there.
It hasn't been that way. He hasn't played one since 2019.
Okay, whatever it was, he said.
Yeah, he hasn't played one in 4 years.
So, anyway, he hasn't played one in forever.
The vets fought to play.
And so we're putting him out here. Oh, I don't know that I like that idea. Because, disaster scenario brain.
But look, it's happened to the Jets more than once.
Oh, my God.
Well, it's happened more than once. We lost Mark Sanchez in the they call this the Snoopy Bowl because it's the MetLife
it's the
Cup,
one that means
I think,
something.
Is what I think that's the trophy. So they call it the Snoopy Bowl.
Yeah.
We lost Mark Sanchez in this game in 2012, and we lost Pennington in this game in 2005. He broke one of them broke their hand, and one of them tore a meniscus or something. So, no, I hate it. I hate it. I don't want to talk about it. Okay. I don't want to think about it. I'm not. I'm going to watch it, but I don't want to, but I'm going to.
Fair enough. Because, I don't know. Just something about that screamed, Jets gonna jet to me. But hopefully not.
Well, I mean, it's under a microscope because he hasn't played, but a lot of the starters have. And then you get guys like Sauce, who's played not at all in the preseason, so you'd like to get a few game reps. It's not that off-putting. I just don't really like it because I don't know what the Giants are going to do. Now, if the Giants starters play, I have no problem. It's if it's the backups. That's what I don't want to see.
Yeah,
I don't want to see Mekhi Becton on the left and, say, Billy Turner on the right, and you get the backups for the Giants that are coming in with 2 backup tackles for the Jets, and somebody's trying to make their mark to make the roster, and they come in and knock the heber-jeebers out of Aaron Rodgers.
O'Shane Ximenez.
Yeah, let me give you a good piece of advice. I wouldn't. If you're wanting to try to make the roster in this game, that's not the dude to do it to. You might not make it out of that stadium alive.
Right. Not a whole lot of intrigue for me personally.
Just get through the weekend healthy.
Because my team's terrible. But if your team is competitive, then I can see where you want to watch the depth pieces for this last week.
Just get through the weekend. Get through it healthy. That's all that matters. Nothing else matters.
Right. And if you're like the Denver Broncos or the Baltimore Ravens that put everything in bubble wrap. San Francisco 49ers. Same team, just everything's in bubble wrap. I want to get to the start of the season as healthy as possible, and I do not care.
I mean, you made it this far. So, I mean, now you've broken camp. It's time. Just be healthy.
Just be healthy.
Get to the cut down day on Tuesday. Make your roster moves as you need to.
Mm-hmm.
There's still a reasonably sizable fish out there that we're going to talk about later in the show. And just get to the regular season. It's 2 weeks from yesterday.
Colin Green's asking in the YouTube comments, will Isaiah Simmons play?
If he does, it will be, I would say it would be limited. I mean, you've been there 2 days. So I can't imagine you know much.
Right. But we'll throw
But
you
even
out.
even if they throw him out there for 8 to 12 snaps, I will be curious to see where they line him up.
Yeah. Are they going to throw him?
Because he wants to play safety.
Mm-hmm.
The only problem is that he is just genuinely horrible at it. So you're going to play in the slot and you're going to play linebacker because that's what you do. And if you don't want to do that, that's fine. You can go work at Allstate.
Michael Meadows, the reigning champion of the Battle for the Belt, says he's asking how many quarterbacks start for the Cardinals this year and how many games each.
I will say Colt McCoy starts 4. Josh Dobbs probably starts 4. Clayton Tune probably starts the rest. I mean, because with any of them, I don't see you beating any team in the NFL. Your defense is awful. And offensively, none of those guys are making me feel real hunky-dunky. The Arizona Cardinals are starting the season how the Tennessee Titans finished it last year. You remember that team that it was basically like there was a blockade in front of the end zone?
Mm-hmm.
They just couldn't score. That's what Arizona's going into the season with.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM at 1400. It's that time, ladies and gentlemen.
Bangers.
We got to take a break. Jeremy will be back with his bangers. We got 3 separate episodes of the Green on Green for you, end of each hour. Coming up next, your chance to make some money.
Attention, it's time for the morning announcements. Make sure your parents are aware of the Ingalls Tools for Schools program and ask them to link their Ingalls Advantage card to our school. Remember, you have to do it each year. Now please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are you Beer City's best fantasy football player? Your chance to prove it is back. The Sportsocracy's Battle for the Belt is back for year 2 with 2 ways to win. Our standard contest and the new Eliminator Challenge for the most hardcore of football fans. Play fantasy football with us every week of the NFL season and compete for a cause with proceeds benefiting Evelyn Charity's St. Nicholas Project. Register today at thesportsocracy.com and take your shot at the title of Beer City's fantasy football champion.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
Macy's Ultimate Shopping Event is going on now. Take an extra 25% off top brands like DKNY, Calvin Klein, On 34th, INC, and more with your coupon or Macy's card. Plus, get your fall beauty essentials with 15% off skincare, fragrances, makeup, and more. And Macy's Star Rewards members earn rewards on every purchase except gift cards, services, and fees. Learn more at Macys.com/Star Rewards. Savings off regular sale and clearance prices. Exclusions apply.
Discover credit cards automatically double all the cash back you earn at the end of your first year, which means... Wait, hold up. Question for the audio engineer.
Go ahead.
Did I read that right? Discover automatically doubles all your cash back?
Yeah, that's what the script says.
So if I get a Discover card right now, I can earn twice the cash back.
Apparently. Wait!
Unlimited first-year cash back match. Only from Discover. See terms and learn more at discover.com/match.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard. Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun. So you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard. It's perfect.
Now try Babbel free. Just go to Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
Have you ever noticed that when the afternoon light hits your floors, you can see everything, including dust?
So much dust.
And that floor dust gets kicked up into the air, compromising the quality of air you and your family breathe.
Eesh.
Swiffer Heavy Duty Sweeper is the fast and easy way to clean your floors, with ultra-thick pads that trap and lock dust before it gets in the air. Just a couple minutes a day,
And dust is gone.
Swiffer Heavy Duty Sweeper. Proud partner of the American Lung Association.
Coffee's the closer's on.
Get him the money.
Then when you get the money, you get the power. That watch costs more than your car. Then when you get the power, then you get the woman.
It's time! We've waited for months just to have bangers. And, well, college football promised you a lobster salad, and instead you got some potted meat and some crackers, and you got a mustard for them. No, but you can make some money. Starting off, Vanderbilt's a 17.5-point favorite at home against Hawaii. Their stadium's not even done. There's construction zones in the end zones. That's how bad Hawaii is. Vanderbilt's an SEC team. And frankly, last year, when you can't score and you can't stop anybody from scoring, that's how you get beat 614-12 like they did against Vanderbilt last year. But they're better this year. I think it'll be close, but I'm still taking Vanderbilt minus the 17.5. Next, Louisiana Tech, 11-point favorite at home against FIU. Fun story time. Last year, how many times was Louisiana Tech a favorite at home that they didn't cover the spread? None. How many times did FIU cover a spread as a road dog? Twice. Those two schools are directional. And they ain't good at footballs. They're not Louisiana Tech, who's pretty good. This one won't be close. Give me La Tech minus the 11. And finally, a team that they're just a gift that keeps on giving, folks. The UMass Minutemen are only a 7-point dog against the New Mexico State Aggies. The UMass should be a 7-point dog against the New Mexico State Highway Patrol. They're awful. They are worse at scoring in football games than Donald Trump is listing at his height. This is going to be a boat race. Give me New Mexico State minus the 7. Push it up to 12.5 to make all the monies. And you can take it to bettus.com and use our promo code Sportsocracy to get a 125% deposit bonus on your initial deposit to make week 0 a money-making week.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
We are tracking some thunderstorms in from the north, trying their best to come down from Virginia, and rich tropical air in play for the weekend, with thunderstorms likely late this weekend and early next week. Our temperatures in the mid-60s for tonight. Mostly sunny, hot weather. Saturday, upper 80s, near 90s. Feels like the heart of summertime here in Asheville. And thunderstorm chances Sunday, Monday, cooler numbers early next week. I'm meteorologist Scott Laria Moore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's BOGO $1 deal. Wendy's BOGO $1 deal is back at participating Wendy's. Buy a Dave's Single, Spicy Chicken Sandwich, 10-piece nugs, or medium frosty, and get another for $1. Double your deliciousness. Hurry, this BOGO deal won't last.
You'd do anything to keep your vehicle happy. Let's make sure it stays running smoothly. With eBay Guaranteed Fit, the right parts are just a click away. When you see the green check, you know that part will fit. Get the right parts at the right prices. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
If this were a Reese's TV ad, you'd be staring at a Reese's peanut butter cup. And sure, my voice is peanut buttery smooth, but still, you need to see the peanut butter cups, right? No? I can really just say Reese's and you'll go get some? Okay. Reese's. 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 Really working, actually. Reese's. Reese's. I'm on to something. Reese's. Reese's. Reese's.
Only iHeartRadio gives you access to all of your favorite radio stations.
It's The Woody Show.
Rover's Morning Glory.
The Rod Ryan Show.
All of the once-in-a-lifetime events.
iHeartRadio Music Festival.
All of the best free curated playlists.
Everything that rocks.
All of the great podcasts for every interest.
This is Freddie Prinze Jr. from the Wrestling with Freddie podcast.
All of the mind-blowing contests.
$20,000.
Awesome.
All of your favorite superstars.
We are 30 Seconds to Mars. This is Alex from All Time Low.
Download the iHeartRadio app today. Free has never sounded so good.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. After his post-game celebration at the Women's World Cup, including kissing one of his players without her consent, Spanish Soccer Federation President Luis Rubiales is defiant against what he calls social assassination. But the entire roster of the team and others now say they won't play for Spain again while Rubiales is in charge. The U.S. women's team falls to number 3 in the new FIFA World Rankings. Team USA had been in the number 1 spot for more than 6 years. Sweden is the new number 1. World Cup champ Spain is ranked 2nd. NFL preseason tonight. The 49ers host the Chargers. The Panthers host the Lions. The Titans host the Patriots. The Steelers finish their preseason at 3-0. Does that mean anything? Head coach Mike Tomlin.
You can't get enough of these opportunities in stadium. You work your tail off to simulate it in a practice setting. It is what it is. And so we'll comb through it like we always do in an effort to get better. And then we'll transition our attentions to the next component of this process, reducing our roster.
Mike Tomlin.
The new Venture X card from Capital One. Earn 10x miles on hotels and rental cars and 5x miles on flights when you book through Capital One Travel, plus 2x miles on all other purchases. Capital One. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Green. Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy, presented by Ingalls Supermarkets.
It is ESPN Asheville, and it's a Football Friday.
Football Friday.
Here in the Sportsocracy, ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
That's one. That's one set of bangers, boys and girls. Those are the favorites. That's how we do things around here. 3 o'clock hour, these are the layups. These are the ones that Vegas looked at you and went, you just take these and you put your doubloons on it, and that'll make up for when you take shots, which is what we do in the 4 and 5 o'clock hours. And those are coming just in a small smattering of time.
Flostradamus bangers, always heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app, and you can go check them out later on the YouTube stream.
Yes, we will be we'll be cutting the video down. We're trying to figure out a way to make that work, that all of the things sync up, because Jeremy does gambling picks in just a slew of places.
He does.
I'm a big dumb bear, and I'm good at one thing. And apparently it's a thing that a lot of people are not good at. So.
Right. You can also watch us on the YouTube live every afternoon. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click that live video link, subscribe to the channel, so you can join us in the chat for our Football Fridays. College football, week 0, continuing with our conference previews, and we haven't talked about the ACC just yet. I mean, not that we really need to have a season, because there's one team that Jeremy thinks is just going to do it. I mean, just undefeated, national champions. Blah, 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 blah.
Breathe it in, man. It's the year of Jeremy. I don't know if you've been to a restaurant. They have all the it's like year of the dog, and if you look at one of those placemats now, it's year of the mullet. On the placemat, it's a fish, but we all know. They're talking about this right
here. Florida State expected to be at the top of the conference this year by pretty much every prognosticator out there, just because, they have a whole bunch of talent.
Yeah.
And they're all returning.
If you haven't looked at the 2 deep for Florida State and you think that they're going to Hey, look, I'm not going to tell you they're going to go undefeated. They have a really ugly matchup in week 1 against LSU that they could very easily lose.
Yep.
I don't see a lot of losses other than that. They have to go to Death Valley and play Clemson.
Which will be tough.
I just want you to remember I said this. They owe Clemson one. And they've owed Clemson one for a real, real long time. And if it were up to Clemson, that game would have been played really late in the season. It's not. It's real early. And to me, that's advantage Florida State.
So getting payback for the ACC championship game?
It's not even that. It's, Clemson took a lot of – and look, this is just me speaking. If you are new to the program, I am a lifelong Florida State fan, and I am a booster of the school. I can tell you a lot of people that I talk to have taken a lot of issue with some of the things that Clemson has done. Maybe running up some scores when Florida State was not – it wasn't even in their ballpark. I remember one that was a noon kickoff on ABC that I specifically remember.
Look, I mean, I feel like everybody's done that, right? As Florida State's been down, everybody's like, hey, this is our chance. Let's flex some muscle. Let's try to make them look foolish because, I mean, well, if you've been an ACC fan for a long time, like I have, then you'll know there was a time where no one could touch Florida State, and we all hated them because of it.
Oh, I'm sure you did. I'm sure that was awful. Just, who we play this week? Florida State? Awesome. They're going to beat us 70-7.
Yep.
Because they did that for a really long time.
They did. Expect Florida State and Clemson to be at the top of the conference yet again.
To me, they are head and shoulders better than every other team in this conference.
Because the 3 in the conference is the North Carolina Tar Heels.
I don't agree with you.
Really?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I'm going to be honest with you. They're not my 4 either.
That's insane.
They're not my 5 either.
That's insane.
This defense is awful. Genuinely, it's awful.
Worse than it was last year?
Yes. You lost Storm Duck and Tony Grimes, and I'm
Who
not saying
good.
I'm not saying they were. Now you're playing the guys that were behind them. How in the world do you think that's going to be better? No, to me, the 3 in this conference is Pittsburgh, and it's not even close.
Really?
3 words. Phil Jakovic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're my 3.
Still believe in that?
I do. I've always believed in the talent. And now he's 24 years old and going into an offense that's got a lot of talent.
Oh, so it's Kenny Pickett syndrome here.
Yes.
He's older than everybody else, and so this is the year he's going to be able to flex some muscle.
And to me, he was actually more of a talented prospect at 18 years old than Kenny Pickett was. So, yeah, my 3 is Pittsburgh, my 4 is Miami, and my 5 is NC State.
Wow. Okay.
And I have them all ahead of Carolina. Carolina's going to get into a lot of shootouts.
Like they did last year.
The difference is now you don't have Josh Downs. You have one receiver. You also lost Antoine Green, who was the second receiver.
Mm-hmm.
You have a tight end. You have a receiver. That's it.
That's it?
In terms
There's only
of
one on the roster?
In terms of known quantities.
Okay, I got you.
Known entities. That's all you have.
Mm-hmm. You still have that high-flying offense. You have that down-the-field scheme. You have really good running backs, so you'll be able to run the ball. Drake May is a threat with his legs as well. This team is going to be one of the highest-scoring offenses in the country again. The question is, how many times do they let the other team hang with them? How many, can the defense be just good enough so that the offense can outscore people? And I think they can. To me, they're easily the 3rd best team in this conference,
and I'll go
because of the offensive power that they have.
I think
that's another board.
There
that's another one on the board.
Yeah,
all right, so we got to write these down because we didn't write them down from yesterday. So I think we're going. What was it? It was.
Somebody in the chat.
It was the Raiders and the Broncos, right? You were taking the Raiders more wins than the Broncos.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, he's writing these down with a pencil and paper.
Well, if I don't, we'll forget to write it down on the big board whenever the big board comes.
Oh, big board.
Yeah, we need the big board over there in the corner of the studio.
The big board's a good idea. We have one of those. It's down the hall. It'd take 3 of us to mount it, and, well, you had a heart attack last week, too.
Right.
Which means that it can't do anything that involves more than scribbling on your little pad over there.
Nope.
Starting to side with your wife on that.
And so what is the wager here?
Oh, you're saying they're clearly the third best team in the ACC.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll even give you.
You'll take Pittsburgh? Is that who we're going for? Higher finish Pittsburgh or UNC?
We can make two of them here if you want to, because I will guarantee you they don't finish top 3 in this conference.
Mm-hmm.
And I would take Pittsburgh to finish ahead of them.
Okay.
So that would be two separate ones to me. If for nothing else,
we'll add that to the list.
If for nothing else, because what you originally said was they're clearly the 3, and I went, whoa,
yeah,
no, because I don't agree with you.
Okay,
they weren't the third best team in this conference last year, and they lost a lot.
Mm-hmm.
This team got annihilated in the transfer portal, and then you look down the rest of the.
The rest of the ACC?
There's a lot of teams that I think are the exact same team.
So Duke, Louisville.
Yep. No, I was talking about the next tier, and I have Duke in that. Duke, Carolina, NC State. There's another one that I'm forgetting that's in that same Miami. You have talented quarterbacks, and then you have these gigantic gaping holes that just make me go, what do you think's going to happen when you play those top 2 teams? Because they don't have holes.
Well,
I think Florida State is clearly better.
I don't think anybody expects these teams to compete with Florida State.
Well, and see, that's kind of my point.
Except for Carolina, I think.
Well, and that's kind of my point, is that you're going to go up against teams that have a hole that you can exploit. So I'll just give you an example. I think Duke's going to win more games than anybody is currently penciling them in for, because what they don't do well, there's not a lot of teams in this conference that can exploit it. There's not a lot of high-end pass rushers in this conference. So the fact that I got Riley Leonard, who is one of the best players in this conference, could also be a first-round pick. Just remember I said that.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that the weapons around him aren't that great, I don't know that there's that many teams that can take advantage of that. Carolina doesn't have the corners to do it. So, for me, everything from 2 down, I believe in Pittsburgh more than you do. But from 2 down, this conference is a complete crapshoot.
Pittsburgh's my 4. So I'm not too far off on you on Pittsburgh, because that team somehow just seems always to figure it out. Pat Narduzzi is a hell of a coach, and he's a hell of a talent evaluator, and he's got a hell of a scheme that he can just – that's one of those schemes you can plug and play, guys, and just be competitive in this conference. So I don't necessarily differ with you on Pittsburgh. Duke, I see the talent there. I don't know that I feel like they're better than the 9 wins that they got last year. In fact, I think that bar might be too high.
For Duke?
Yeah. I look at them the same way I look at the New York Giants. You did well last year, but I just don't. I don't know. Can you do it again? Can you? Because you're going to need everything to bounce your way.
Do you know who they play outside of the games that they're going to be just annihilated in?
Outside of Clemson and Florida State and Notre Dame?
Yep.
Because that's 3.
That's the 3. They play at Carolina, which I could theoretically give you as a 4.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, they play Lafayette, Northwestern, UConn, NC State at Duke, Louisville in Louisville, Wake Forest, Virginia, and Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
7 of those teams are genuinely awful. Genuinely terrible.
Wake Forest is terrible?
Wake Forest is not good.
Okay.
This is going to be a bleak. I had somebody on our TikTok say Wake Forest is going to beat Florida State. I'll bet my house they don't. Yeah. After how much joy you took in beating them in Florida State last year, I'm going to go ahead and tell you that ain't happening.
They probably won't.
Yeah, because Sam Hartman, he's playing for Notre Dame now.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't like your chances.
Well, I mean, as much as we love Dave Clawson, and as much as he has, has overachieved the right thing to say.
No, because they've been talented.
Yeah, they have been talented. I don't
think they're talented now. I think now you've got Brennan Armstrong, who's a good quarterback, but I've only seen him work in one system, and it's not the system he's walking into. He was genuinely terrible.
Wait, I thought he went to NC State.
He did. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Wake Forest.
Yeah. Sorry, I mixed 2 of them up there.
Right.
Dave Doran and Dave Clawson always screw with me.
All right.
And to me, they're in similar – they have similar problems this year. They've lost a ton. And it's just hard for a program like that to replenish, especially when you got Mac Brown that's been recruiting this state so well. So they're not catching that second, third best guy in the state of North Carolina. You're catching the teens because Mac Brown is annihilating the state and has been for years. Now, Duke, on the other hand, I don't know where they're getting their players from. They're catching the fast Ivy Leaguers, and that's enough for Mike Elko, apparently.
That's enough. It's enough to be competitive. I've heard a lot of hype about Brian Braum in Louisville. That not that they're going to be a national, player or anything, but that this could be a team to win 8 games. This could be a team to be just annoying enough.
It's a headache to go into that stadium. And they've got a lot of money in that program. I mean, and the schedule is pitiful. They don't play Clemson. They don't play Florida State. They do have to play Notre Dame, but it's at home.
Right.
I mean, their road games are at NC State, at Pittsburgh, at Miami. End of message, repeat the line. That's the only 3 road games they play all year.
Right.
You should, in theory, win 2 of those.
Yeah, you could be in that 8-win territory and at least be relevant at the end of the season.
I don't know how relevant they will be because I don't think they're all that good.
Now the rest of the conference, that's where it drops off a cliff. Boston College, Jeff Hafley, a great coach.
I love him as a coach.
Great coach, but man, you just haven't been able to get the players. And when you do get players, it's just I got one special one, and that's it. And I'm never competitive, right? I mean, a couple of years ago they were competitive, right? They had
It should tell you everything you need
season,
to know.
I think.
Well, there's 14 teams in this conference. 15 if you include Notre Dame, and they don't count the standings. Georgia Tech's the 10.
Whoa.
That should tell you everything you need to know. Because Syracuse, Virginia Tech, Boston College, and Virginia are bad. Wake Forest and Georgia Tech are in their own little layer of bad.
And the question is there anything you can do? Is there anything you can do to turn these programs around?
Any of the bottom feeders?
Without bloodletting, without,
No.
Right. I mean, it's going to take major
You have to hire.
changes.
You have to hire the correct coach, which I feel like Virginia did not do. Boston College did, but you're so geographically remote in this conference. This is so hard to get players, and even when you do, it's hard to keep them. And if you do keep them, they leave early to go to the NFL, like Zay Flowers. I mean, you got to understand, this team had Phil Djokovic and Zay Flowers. Djokovic could still go in the first round this year, and it wouldn't stun me. He'd have to be really productive at Pittsburgh, and you have to stay healthy. But you had both of those guys, and you were completely irrelevant. Now you have neither. How bad do you think you are now? Virginia Tech, I don't think you hired well. I don't. I didn't like the last hire, and I don't like the current one. But then you look at Duke. Duke goes and gets Mike Elko. Somehow kept him this year. I felt assured he was going to get a bigger job. Oh, he's only been there a year. Don't care.
Yeah.
He took a pretty listless Duke team and won, what was it, 9 games?
9 games.
Enjoy him this year. Did Steve Spurrier teach you anything? Because when
He won't be there
when
long.
you get real happy at Duke in football, you should know it's not going to last long.
Yeah.
But that's the bottom 12. There are 2 in this conference that are national players. And after the break, I'll break down those 2.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is time to go 240 eastbound between Charlotte Street and Exit 8 due to an accident. 240 on the westbound side slow between I-40 Charlotte Highway and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound slow between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound slowing between Brevard Road and the French Broad River. 26 eastbound again slow between Long Shoals Road and Airport Road. Sweeten Creek Road, north and southbound, approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Hendersonville Road, north and southbound, approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Near Avery Creek, Brevard Road, north and southbound, approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. In North Asheville, Merriman Avenue, north and southbound at Edgewood Road, delays. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples has everything you need for the office and the classroom for less. Now save even more with $50 off your print and marketing services order of $150 or more. Offer ends 8/26. Visit staples.com/print for details. Save for your business at Staples.
Discover credit cards automatically double all the cash back you earn at the end of your first year, which means... Wait, hold up. Question for the audio engineer.
Go ahead.
Did I read that right? Discover automatically doubles all your cash back?
Yeah, that's what the script says.
So if I get a Discover card right now, I can earn twice the cash back.
Apparently. Wait! Unlimited first-year cash back match. Only from Discover. See terms and learn more at discover.com/match.
Tired of living with joint pain? Now there's a better, natural solution. Call QC Kinetics. No drugs, no surgery, no downtime. QC Kinetics. Consultation is free. 828-333-9517. With locations in Asheville and Greenville.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Kind of like choosing Derek Jeter as the pinch hitter for your baseball team.
Jeter, you're in. We need a home run.
I'll give it a try. I've swung a bat once or twice.
That's out of here. Yep, even easier than that. With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, is it even a decision? That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One N.A. member FDIC.
Have you ever noticed that when the afternoon light hits your floors, you can see everything, including dust?
So much dust.
And that floor dust gets kicked up into the air, compromising the quality of air you and your family breathe.
Eesh.
Swiffer Heavy Duty Sweeper is the fast and easy way to clean your floors with ultra-thick pads that trap and lock dust before it gets in the air. Just a couple minutes a day.
And dust is gone.
Swiffer Heavy Duty Sweeper. Proud partner of the American Lung Association.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Are you Beer City's best fantasy football player? Your chance to prove it is back. The Sportsocracy's Battle for the Belt is back for year 2 with 2 ways to win. Our standard contest and the new Eliminator Challenge for the most hardcore of football fans. Play fantasy football with us every week of the NFL season and compete for a cause with proceeds benefiting Evelyn Charity's St. Nicholas Project. Register today at thesportsocracy.com and take your shot at the title of Beer City's fantasy football champion.
The Sportsocracy.
Ice up, son. Ice up.
Back at the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. College football kicking off in just, man, can I say it? A matter of hours. I mean, it's going to be tomorrow, noon. I think it's noon, isn't it? The Notre Dame kickoff, 2:30 tomorrow afternoon. The Notre Dame kickoff in Ireland against Navy, which will be fun to see. We haven't done that in a while. We did the Notre Dame Boston College thing. That was 4 years ago? 2019, wasn't it?
I believe
it was
so,
before because when COVID happened, we didn't do any travel. So we haven't done the Dublin game in a while, I guess.
They played it last year.
Did they?
I'm 95% sure they did, yes.
Okay. I mean, yeah, they played Michigan, didn't they?
No.
Wasn't there a big game? Nah, look
I'll
it up. You look it up. Anyway, that's going to be the highlight of the action tomorrow. Of course, Jeremy's got all the bangers for you. Already gave you a set at the end of the last hour. We got one coming up at the end of this hour.
Nebraska Northwestern was last
Nebraska
year.
Northwestern. That's why I don't remember that we did that.
I lost my arse on that one. I mean, straight up. I got drugged down the sidewalk
you got
on
your
that game.
feelings hurt.
I did. That was one of the, we were doing something that day. We were doing a stream of some kind that day because we were here. And Nebraska jumped out to a lead and then did not score again because I started talking all that smoke.
I've had a heart attack since then, so I forgot. I don't know.
I already hate this. I already hate this. You're either going to have another one or shut up about it.
Yeah.
Like, that's
the ACC is a very top-heavy conference. You got two at the top that are just head and shoulders above everybody else, right? You got Florida State,
doubt.
you got Clemson, and then you got a gap, and then you got that mishmash of teams that we were talking about earlier with North Carolina and Pittsburgh and NC State. Who am I leaving out? Miami in that as well. But is it Florida State? Is Florida State back? Because we thought they were making the surge at the end of the year last year. And now the expectation is there. Now everybody came back. You have all of the juice. Jordan Travis is getting, dark horse talk for the Heisman Trophy.
He's not dark horse. He's the second most likely, according to DraftKings Sportsbook, to win.
Is he
right
really?
Now. Yes, he is.
Good night.
Yeah, it's not dark horse.
I thought he was back there.
Now, it depends on what book you're at. Right now, it's Caleb Williams. He's way out yonder.
Yeah.
And then you get Jordan Travis, Jaden Daniels. There are a few others. And then there's that jump.
Yeah.
And that's where you get like Drake May and Cade Klubnik and a few others are in that.
Mm-hmm.
That would be more in the dark horse territory.
Okay.
But, I mean, all right, so you asked, is Florida State back?
Yes.
You do realize that they only lost 3 games last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's pretty good. You went 10-3 last year.
Yeah, but that's not back, right?
Well, you're never – I don't know that you're ever getting back to – I don't know that you'll ever get back to what Florida State was.
You got to be nationally relevant is what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, you're the problem. Your Georgia Bulldogs are the reason that Florida State will never be back.
That's a good point.
You dominate Georgia. That's where Florida State, the predominant amount of the recruits came from. Because Miami and Florida have always kind of divvied up Florida. So, yes, Florida State gets a handful of top-notch Florida recruits. Where they killed everybody was in Georgia. And then they would slide in and get a few in Louisiana. They'd slide in and get a few in Texas. I don't know that those days are ever coming back.
Mm-hmm.
What Mike Norvell is doing at a really high level is working the transfer portal. Because if you look up and down their two deep, they have 7 high-level transfers. I've already seen what you are. Mike Norvell's not a great recruiter. Just make that. I mean, he's got the, I think, 7th best class for next year, which that could get you closer to quote-unquote back if that's what you're talking about. I think they're back anyway. They were a tough out last year. They lost to 3 nationally ranked teams, and one of them was NC State, and the quarterback got hurt.
Mm-hmm. And with your offense and the defense and the experience on both sides of the ball, there's no doubt that this team is, to me, the most talented team in the conference.
I think by a lot.
Because you consider Jordan Travis, and then you got Johnny Wilson.
And Keon Coleman.
Who's one of the – he's an
Benson.
electric guy.
Johnny Wilson?
I love Johnny Wilson.
Well, he's gigantic. He's 6'7", and has phenomenal hands.
Mm-hmm. You're going to run the ball.
Oh, by the way, the thing I didn't tell you, Keon Coleman's 6'5", too. So, but our corners are really good. I've heard that from Clemson people a lot. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. Are they real tall, or do you have a pair of stilts for them? Because if you don't, probably not going to be a fun day.
Mm-hmm.
2 high-level tight ends. You got Jaheim Bell from South Carolina. And I just look at Florida State and go, these are all known quantities. I look at Clemson and go, you have one known quantity on the entire roster.
Which is?
Will Shipley.
Yeah.
That's the only guy I know it is. Because I still don't know that Cade Klubnik's good. He came in and beat Carolina. Awesome. How, just in theory, how'd that Orange Bowl go? Oh, okay. Yeah, so you annihilated a horrifically bad Carolina defense. Sweet. Yeah, a lot of people did that.
Mm-hmm.
Then you let Joe Milton just walk you up and down the field. Trust me, I know, because I bet on you. Thanks, Clemson. Every time I believe in you, just...
And a defense that wasn't great. That was the thing. The Tennessee defense wasn't great, and Cade struggled a bit in that game.
Putting it nicely.
I mean, give the kid, it was only his second real tough competition because his coach just could not let go of DJ Uiagalelei.
No, and the thing that scares me is that at Clemson, everybody just keeps talking about Garrett Riley. The best thing I've ever seen him do was at TCU last year.
Mm-hmm.
What's the problem with that? He didn't call the plays. Sonny Dykes called the plays. He might have been the one radioing them in. It was Sonny Dykes' offense. So if you think you're going to come into the ACC and do that against the Florida State, can you do it to a Carolina? Sure. There's so many moving pieces. You have to be really disciplined.
Mm-hmm.
It also, then you run into a situation like they ran into with Georgia, where you come up against a team that's just bigger and meaner and stronger and more physical than you, and all of a sudden, you look like an FCS school. I'm not saying Clemson's going to do that. I just don't – I'm using your line. I've never seen it. I've seen Cade Klubnik have one really good game and one that was absolutely horrific.
Mm-hmm.
He threw for 320 yards. He had to because they were down the entire game. There was no hope for them pretty much from pillar to post because you were physically dominated by Tennessee. And I don't think you got better. You lost a good bit to the NFL in terms of known quantities. Mm-hmm. The defense is not going to be as good. I look at Florida State and go, the offense is going to be as good or if not better because not only did I return everybody, I added little pieces around.
Yep. Well, as you mentioned, the Clemson defense is – I feel like it's been an unknown quality for the last couple of years. We didn't know really what we were going to get with the attrition of the NFL, right? I mean, it's the same thing that Georgia's been going through of you lose 7 off your defense to the NFL, and then, well, I don't know if they can be as good as they were last year. And then some would say that they were better last year than they were the year before, and now you lose 7 more, and now, well, we don't know what this is going to be. But the top teams are always going to recruit. They're always going to have the talent coming in. And so the question is, has Clemson been able to replenish on the defensive side?
Well, I mean, they have a ton of older players.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're starting 11 on defense. You have 6 fifth-year seniors. The only problem is these are fifth-year seniors that have been playing behind somebody else outside of Tyler Davis. All the rest of them have been rotational pieces the entire time they've been here.
Mm-hmm.
But now you have to step up to the big leagues. Oh, and by the way, you caught a real ugly schedule anomaly where your first game is in conference at Duke, which is not going to be fun. They'll win, but it won't be a pretty win. Then you play 2 schools that one is not in the FBS and the other one shouldn't be. Then you have to play Florida State. That escalates quickly. I would have a lot less confidence in how this was going to go if that game was November 11th. If they played Georgia Tech in Week 4 and Florida State 2 weeks before the South Carolina game,
mm-hmm.
I would hate the end of the schedule because you'd go Florida State, North Carolina, South Carolina, but I think you would have a better chance. Your first legit test is the best team on your schedule by a mile. And I like the chances.
Yep.
I could be wrong.
Nope.
Dabo's recruited high-level players for a long time, so I'm not saying you're bereft of talent. I'm just saying you've been writing checks that your keister is going to have to cash, and now you got a big bad wolf in your conference too.
Right. And I get why you might doubt, or one might doubt, whether or not Clemson can do it again. We talked about the down year last year for Clemson. It still ended up pretty decent. Still ended up getting an ACC championship out of the deal. Now, you can't do what you did last year and be able to still win an ACC championship with Florida State on your heels. I fully get that. But let's not talk about Clemson like they're done or this is a dynasty ended.
No, I'm not saying they're done.
But I'm not saying you are. What I'm saying is there are some who are saying, oh, the dynasty is over. Clemson's reign of terror is over with Florida State jumping back up here. No, they're 2.
You lost 2 Power 5 coaches and a third group of 5 coach off your coordinator staff in 3 years. That's hard for anybody to come back from. Now you're hedging all your bets because last year was a nightmare with Brandon Streeter. Now you're hedging your bets on a guy who his biggest claim to fame was a TCU squad that the first time they played real physicality, they wilted like a flower in the sun. and his last name's Riley. He ain't his brother. He's not, and he's never going to be.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say that there's a question in our YouTube comments. We got to take a commercial break. There's a question in our YouTube comments that I really want to talk about on the backside. It comes from GG Gambling. He asked about recruiting. Which is stronger in your opinion, the transfer portal or old school recruiting? I've wanted to talk about this for a long time, and we'll do it after the break.
It's the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
We are tracking some thunderstorms in from the north, trying their best to come down from Virginia, and rich tropical air in play for the weekend with thunderstorms likely late this weekend and early next week. Our temperatures in the mid-60s for tonight. Mostly sunny, hot weather. Saturday, upper 80s, near 90s. Feels like the heart of summertime here in Asheville. And thunderstorm chances Sunday, Monday, cooler numbers early next week. I'm meteorologist Scott Laria-Moore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving slow 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 40 westbound slow between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 40 eastbound delays between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Airport Road. Near Clyde, 40 westbound near exit 27. An accident at the right shoulder closed. Not seeing any heavy delays in the area at the moment. Hendersonville Road northbound, approaching Long Shoals Road, stop and go due to an accident. Hendersonville Road southbound, stop and go between the Skyland area and Long Shoals Road due to onlooker delay. Sweeten Creek Road, north and southbound, approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Near Inca Village, Sardis Road, moving from Sand Hill Road to Bavard Road is slow. I'm Lehman Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. Fall into autumn hiring with Indeed. Their all-in-one solution makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates. Sponsor a job and immediately get a short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
The NFL is back, and your free iHeartRadio app is your home for the NFL Podcast Network with full coverage of all 32 NFL teams. Get in-depth analysis from the pros on around the NFL. Win bragging rights in this year's draft with tips from the NFL Fantasy Football Podcast and more. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
BetOnline.net is your #1 source for all your sports wagering info with all the stats, news, scores, and matchups. Keep the latest game odds, live lines, and matchup reports at your fingertips. BetOnline.net has you covered for every event and sport this month. From baseball to golf to MMA to preseason football. BetOnline.net is the fastest and easiest way to get your betting info and to access your favorite casino and card games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. BetOnline.net, where the game starts.
In a world where thrills never stop, $1 million is on the line, and your fate is decided every 4 minutes by a bunch of random numbers with...
Dan, I think Keno's exciting enough without you doing the voice.
But my talents add a little something, right?
I guess.
Carolina Keno, $1 million thrills every 4 minutes.
Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds to win. A price range from 1 to 3.86 to 16.63. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community. One that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at RogueCombatClub.com.
At Ingles, we're proud to sponsor area athletics at all levels. Whether we're building new fields for T-ball, celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park. We're here for the fans. No one gets the dedication to the home team like you guys. And we've got all the sports you can handle. It's all in the bag. Ingles. Low prices. Love the savings.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
I'm starting to get to the point where some of these weird stories just seem like everyday news now.
Yeah, it's because we live in a weird world.
We do. We live in a very weird world.
Hey, you want me to tell you a fun stat? I just learned this earlier in the day.
Okay.
How much did OnlyFans make last year? The website OnlyFans. How much did we, as the United States of America, pay into that?
$6 billion.
You're too low. It's $7 billion.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you did that thing where you were, I'm going to guess a number that's too high.
Right.
Yeah, it's $7 billion. All so we could see what the neighbor looks like naked. That's the world you live in. That's the world you live in. Can't see it for free. Have to see what the neighbor looks like.
Well,
Because you're weird.
The lines of decency in this country definitely have been crossed and blurred for a long, long time. But this story it's just one of those that you look at and you go, how in the heck did that happen? 34-year-old teacher is facing charges because she was having an inappropriate relationship with one of her students. Kid was an 8th grader.
You're a Grossman.
8th grader. She's 34 years old. Not only do they have 2,200 text messages of lewd things that she was sharing with this 8th grader. This is a middle school. I have 7th graders, and I'm trying to put in my head, like, if a 34-year-old woman was sexting with my 12-year-old son.
So we're talking about a female teacher here.
Yes.
And a boy child.
Yes.
That's different.
Stop.
It's 100%.
No.
Facts don't care about your feelings. I got girls. Trust me.
12.
You die.
I get it.
Trust me, it's different because you meet the wrong side of Mr. Mullet, and it ain't going to be good for you.
I mean,
I ain't going to be happy about the other one, but
a little different.
It's a little different.
A little different.
A little different, my Keister.
Your child is still your child.
I
And
don't
that's
disagree.
Doing inappropriate things with minors, and we don't do that anyway.
I didn't say I was saying one of them was good and one was bad. I said it's different.
2,200 text messages in the evidence against this woman, who faces over 40 years in prison if she is convicted on all of the charges that she's facing. But not only were there the sex and the lewd pictures that she was sending to the kid.
Why is it when you say the word sexed, my skin crawls?
Sexed.
Yeah. Oh, there it was again. It's like I get the goose heber-jeebers, the goose chilies on my arm every time. Oh, don't do that. It's like walking on somebody's grave or something. Don't do that.
She's also accused of going through with the act with the 8th grader as well. And I'm not sure if she convinced him or if he was on his way out the door already, but he ended up running away from home right after she bought him a gun.
Wait,
yeah,
that's a hard right turn.
Right. She is also accused of buying this child a gun whilst, doing the other things and convincing him to run away from his home. And
Is it bad that I see one of those is worse than the other? I mean, they're both bad, but I see one is worse.
And that's where my head went, because I went, sexting, I mean, we've seen this before.
It's still
I've
bad.
never seen him supplying the child with weapons.
I've never seen, hey, Billy, you want a Glock 9? I've never, that's a new one. That was a new level of
She
that.
bought it for him for his birthday. Just another caring girlfriend.
Oh, how stupid. How stupid are you?
But then again, 40 years in prison, is that enough? I mean, she's 34, so get out at 74? I mean, if that's the minimum sentence, that's the minimum sentence, 40. That's her max.
Well, I mean, Mary Kay Letourneau did like 15 minutes. And I think she did like 9 datelines in that time. So it's different. You may not like it, but it's different. My story comes from somewhere in Southeast Asia. For whatever reason in the AP story, it never discloses where this happens. 68-year-old man woke up in his home. He was apparently taking some kind of nap. And when he woke up, he looked down, and there was a snake that was it was making a meal of him. His name is Saryuth Malakon, 68-year-old man from wherever this is, and the snake that was noshing down on him was known to be a snake that eats people. It's a gigantic python. I can't find the name here in the story. I lost it. Well, when he wakes up and discovers that the snake is noshing on his kneecap, he starts to squirm and is yelling for help. Somebody help me! I'm being eaten by a snake. Nobody comes.
Nobody came.
Nobody came. And the snake is tightening its grip on him as he squirms and wiggles. So he did the only thing that you could possibly do. He bit the snake. He bit the snake and it let go.
Good for him.
Now, when asked by the media why he thought the snake had gotten into his home, his answer was, and I quote, "I believe it was after the chickens I keep in my bedroom." So let me get this straight. This is a man that bit a snake and keeps chickens in his bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to mess with Mr. Malicon because that dude is a badass. That is not somebody that is to be screwed with. You bit a snake and made it release you. I'm out. I'm done. I am done.
You've done enough,
I
sir.
don't care if you are 68, and I don't care. He's a small man from the pictures I'm looking at.
Right.
Don't care. You are tougher than me, and I'm not sure you can be killed.
Hey, you never know. When you think your life's in danger, you never know how primal you can get.
Stephen Tao asked it was just one of his legs. Apparently the snake had nom-nommed all the way up to his knee. And he somehow, I'll be honest with you, the most impressive part for me, because I sat here trying to do this, was could I bite my own knee?
No.
I don't think
No, you couldn't. You couldn't.
I'd have to wait until it got
I mean, I hope it's a
higher.
I hope it's a really long damn snake, and then I can bend my leg, grab his tail, and just bite his tail.
I don't think he'd have cared about that. He bit him on the head.
I mean, I could have bit it off, and then he'd care.
I don't know. It's big. That's a big snake.
You gotta have some sharp teeth for that, I guess.
Yeah, that's a big snake.
That's some like country living right there.
That's a big old snake.
Yikes. It is the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. So we're talking about recruiting. The question was asked, what's better, I guess, recruiting-wise, going through the portal or doing the traditional route and getting the young high schoolers?
For me, it's not even close.
Transfer portal.
100%.
You get proven quantities. Or
some proven entities.
Proven entities. That's the one I was
about to say.
looking for.
You screwed me up.
Look, I had a heart attack. I just couldn't.
I'm so tired of that. Like, today is 7 days, and you have used that no less than 200 times in 7 days. I wasn't around you for 2 days because they didn't let you out of the hospital for 2 days. Anyway, yeah, it's transfer portal. I don't have to invest 2 or 3 years recruiting these guys in high school. Somebody else can do that, and then I just get to pick and choose. Now, you have to have a baseline of those high school guys that are really bought in. But, and I hate to use this example because we were just talking about Florida State. They had a handful of issues last year.
Mm-hmm. Didn't
have a tight end. Really needed a consistent second receiver because Micah Pittman just didn't serve to be that. He was fine, but he wasn't consistent. Needed a couple guys in the front four. And so what'd they do? They went and got all that in the transfer portal.
Right.
It's basically like glorified NCAA free agency.
Mm-hmm.
I spent no time. They go in the portal. I make a call. Whole recruitment takes a week at most. And then I can spend my time really working with the guys that I've recruited, trying to get them to stay home. Like, you just be patient. A year, and you're going to get yours.
Mm-hmm.
I can work on schemes. I can work on all of the things in the building because I'm not spending all my time flying around the country trying to find the next high-end 5-star recruit.
No, I'm still going to do that.
100%.
I'm
You're
still
going to have a
gonna do
baseline
that,
of that, but
to-
I'm not going to do it at the same level.
Right, I'm going to do it to a much lower level. I'm going to go and I'm going to check out all the 5 stars and the 4 stars, and I'm not going out there digging for 3 and 2 stars.
Well, I mean, but that's the thing.
To build my roster, because I can go out and get dudes that played at Fordham who've been 3-year starters and all conference players, and go, yep, that guy can be my starting guard or my backup swing tackle or whatever.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and you look around the college football landscape, Ryan Day and Jim Harbaugh and Nick Saban and Brian Kelly, those guys are taking the vast majority of the 5 stars anyway. Just sit back and wait for them to get impatient because they can't play at Georgia or LSU or Alabama, and then feast on it. And then find every Michigan State high-end player you can find because they're going to get tired of winning 4 games a year. Hey, why don't you come down here and compete for a national title? Keon Coleman. That's Exactly what they did.
Exactly how that happened.
Stole one from South Carolina. It's just the way the game's played.
Mm-hmm.
Until they start legislating these things, to me, it is better to go into the portal and fill your holes that way. I'm still going to sign my 20 to 25 recruits a year. But for me, I really want to do that in a tight geographic location around my school. So if I'm Georgia, I'm not really – I'll recruit California to get a quarterback.
Yep.
Linemen and things like that. I've got a 200-mile fence around my school on each side.
Mm-hmm.
Best players in this geographic location, they're not going to leave. You know why? Because they grew up loving Georgia football. And so now that they're here, they're less likely to leave.
I was going to say, now they really do.
Yeah.
Now I've got a whole batch for the next 10 years that will not leave the state of Georgia because we can stay home and play for national championships? Mm-hmm. Yes.
That's Jimmy Johnson did this in the 80s. He always said he had put a fence around Dade County. I'm not letting anybody out of here. And he didn't for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And Miami was fantastic. If you've got a recruiting base where you can do that, more power to you. It's exactly what I would do.
Yeah.
And I'll fill my roster holes through the transfer portal with 10 transfers a year. Done.
Because I know what I'm getting.
Exactly.
I know that these guys aren't going to come. Like, I'm not going to spend all this time and money going after some junior in high school right now that's going to end up being nothing. Like, have you ever gone back and looked at the scouting recruiting rankings for high schoolers?
Yes.
Like, years after they happened? You might have 2 or 3 that ended up being all-pro or all-Americans.
It's getting better.
In college.
Pretty much now, the ESPN 300, the top 30, 25 of them are hits.
Pretty close.
But you get 5 that are huge misses.
Absolutely. Yeah, you got
don't even know who the guy was.
You got some, like, 2 or 3 of the top quarterbacks in classes that you never even heard their name because they sat on the bench and then got hurt somewhere or something. I would rather have the known entity. It's that heart attack thing again. It's the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
1 hour left.
Yep, 1 hour left for the week. And bangers are coming up next. Jeremy's got a couple more as week 0 is upon us.
And it might be the time for the first of something special and near and dear to my heart of the football season.
Oh, indeed. It's a specialty pick coming up in the bangers. And, NFL preseason continuing tonight. High school football as well tonight on ESPN Asheville. It is just all happening. And we are just days away from the start of the fantasy football season. Officially, for Jeremy anyway, because he doesn't do drafts until this week. And then next weekend is when we have our draft day party at the Village Porch, which will kick off our season at the football home of the Sportsocracy, the Village Porch, 51 North Merriman Avenue. Bangers are next.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving slow, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 eastbound slow, beginning at the French Broad River, continuing to Airport Road. 26 westbound stop and go between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Hendersonville Road northbound, approaching Long Shoals Road, stop and go due to an accident. Hendersonville Road southbound from the Skyland area to Long Shoals Road. Also very busy both directions due to onlooker delay. Sweeten Creek Road north and southbound, approaching Mills Gas
This
Road.
report is sponsored by Napa Auto Parts. When your ride fires on all cylinders, so do you. That's why Napa is on a mission to keep you in motion. With nearly 6,000 Napa Auto Parts stores and over 17,000 Napa Auto Care centers, the Napa network has everything you need to get up and go.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun. So you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
Now try Babbel free. Just go to Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
It can happen easily. A few drinks becomes a few too many. It's time to go and you think of calling for a ride home. Nah, what's the worst that could happen? You get pulled over, you lose your license, you total your car, you kill someone. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
Macy's Ultimate Shopping Event is going on now. Take an extra 25% off top brands like DKNY, Calvin Klein, On 34th, INC, and more with your coupon or Macy's card. Plus, get your fall beauty essentials with 15% off skincare, fragrances, makeup, and more. And Macy's Star Rewards members earn rewards on every purchase except gift cards, services, and fees. Learn more at Macys.com/Star Rewards. Savings off regular sale and clearance prices. Exclusions apply.
It can happen easily. A few drinks becomes a few too many. It's time to go and you think of calling for a ride home. Nah, what's the worst that could happen? You get pulled over, you lose your license, you total your car, you kill someone. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
Are you Beer City's best fantasy football player? Your chance to prove it is back. The Sportsocracy's Battle for the Belt is back for year 2 with 2 ways to win. Our standard contest and the new Eliminator Challenge for the most hardcore of football fans. Play fantasy football with us every week of the NFL season and compete for a cause with proceeds benefiting Evelyn Charity's St. Nicholas Project. Register today at thesportsocracy.com and take your shot at the title of Beer City's fantasy football champion.
Coffee's for closers only. Get them the money.
Then when you get the money, you get the power.
That watch costs more than your car.
Then when you get the power, then you get the woman.
Oh, it's time, baby. We got 2 top 25 teams playing this weekend. And I figured this is as good a time as ever to make a little money off of them. This is Green on Green, brought to you by Ingles Markets. Low prices, love the savings. San Jose State's a 31.5-point dog to USC. You know I love an underdog. And I'm taking San Jose State. I should do it because USC is so good. But they can't play defense to save their lives, and San Jose State's not this bad. I mean, this could be San Jose State Technical School, and it still shouldn't be 31 because USC can't stop anybody. Give me the Spartans plus 31.5. They're not going to win under any circumstances. And Caleb Williams is going to get anything and everything he wants. But I think they cover. Now, there's a tradition in this segment, and I feel like this is as good a time as any to break it out. It's the Yankee Breaky! No mistakey! Let your mullet flag fly! And mine is with the Notre Dame Fighting Irish against Navy. 20.5-point favorites, and that's stupid. Give me the Fighting Irish. They're going to Dublin. We're going to drink Guinness all night long, and we're going to smoke Navy, because that's run by the government, and you know I don't trust it. For more, find us on all the social medias at the Sportsocracy, and as always, love the savings with Ingles, love the winnings with me. Ball it out.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
We are tracking some thunderstorms in from the north, trying their best to come down from Virginia, and rich tropical air in play for the weekend with thunderstorms likely late this weekend and early next week. Our temperatures in the mid-60s for tonight. Mostly sunny, hot weather. Saturday, upper 80s, near 90s. Feels like the heart of summertime here in Asheville. And thunderstorm chances Sunday, Monday, cooler numbers early next week. I'm meteorologist Scott Lauriamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic slow 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 eastbound slow beginning at the French Broad River, continuing to Airport Road. 26 westbound stop and go between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Hendersonville Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road stop and go due to an accident. Hendersonville Road southbound from the Skyland area to Long Shoals Road. Also very busy both directions due to onlooker delay. Sweeten Creek Road north and southbound approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. I'm Lee Benfield with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples has everything you need for the office and the classroom for less. Now save even more with $50 off your print and marketing services order of $150 or more. Offer ends 8/26. Visit staples.com/print for details. Save for your business at Staples.
It's week 2 of the Buncombe County Game of the Week, and we've got a great matchup for you. Our first chance to check out the Reynolds Rockets as they host Shelby. The Lions are a perennial power. This should be a great matchup. Bojangles Countdown to Kickoff show starts at 7. On ESPN 1400, the Mountaineers of Tuscola hit the road for the first time this season to take on Polk. Cowboy John Roten and the gang will bring in the Mountaineer pregame show starting at 7. Sports Tank Friday gets us started at 6. The best high school football coverage is on News Radio 570, WWNC, and ESPN Asheville.
Now your ideas don't have to wait. Dell Technologies and Intel are pushing what technology can do, so great ideas can happen right now. Find out how to bring your ideas to life at Dell.com. Welcome to Now.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
I'm Doug Brown. The entire roster of Spain's Women's World Cup title team, along with dozens of former players, release a statement today saying they will not play for the country again while Soccer Federation President Luis Rubiales is still in charge. Rubiales is taking heavy criticism for his actions during Sunday's postgame celebration. USC quarterback Caleb Williams, the consensus favorite to win a second Heisman Trophy. He's listed 15-4 at Caesars Sportsbook. ESPN's Heather Dinich, though, says there's plenty of competition.
You've got Bo Nix at Oregon. You've got Drake May at North Carolina. You've got Jordan Travis at Florida State. We could talk quarterbacks all day. Don't forget about running back Blake Corum at Michigan. How about Marvin Harrison Jr. at Ohio State? There's just too many great players across the country that are going to push him for that spot.
Heather Dinich. Ohio State's Archie Griffin is the only two-time Heisman winner in 1974 and 75. The New York Rangers hire Hockey Hall of Famer Angela Ruggiero as a hockey operations advisor. She played on the U.S. women's national team for 15 years.
Do you own or rent your home? Sure you do. Fortunately, Geico makes it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. It's a good thing, too, because having a home is hard work. Go to geico.com, get a quote, and see how much you could save. Geico.com. Easy.
Now your chance at $1,000 and a trip to our 2023 iHeartRadio Music Festival. Text the nationwide keyword Vegas to 200-200. You'll get a confirmation text and info. Standard data and message rates apply in this nationwide contest. That's Vegas to 200-200.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Green, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy, presented by Ingalls Supermarkets.
It is the Sportsocracy, ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy heard everywhere on the iHeart Radio app, and we're seen live in the Ingalls studio on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel on YouTube, and that way you can join us in the chat each and every day. It is a
Football Friday.
That's right. Bangers still continuing. One more at the end of this hour. If you're new to the program, we do this every Friday of the football season, and with week 0 in college football upon us, that's where we're at.
And if you're new, the last one is always the loudest. And this week is no exception.
Underdog. It's the
Road dog.
Look, every year I say this. The start of my season begins with Liev Shribner doing his voiceover for the open of Hard Knocks. The open of the football betting season is the first underdogs in the green on green here in the Sportsocracy. I mean, it is a staple.
It'll never go away.
It will never go away.
Now, I may have a heart attack doing it one day. Tank said, watching me do it this time, apparently I got very red-faced.
Yes. He gets very red-faced, and now that, I have the PTSD.
Can't have it if you can't spell. If you can't spell it, you don't have it.
Look, I got the STD from the heart attack, and now it's Now I'm watching out for him, and every time I feel like his blood pressure goes up, I go, thank God I have those nitroglycerin pills in my pocket.
Yep, I just found out about those. I would wager 9 times out of 10 my blood pressure looks like a zip code, so it's a good thing to know.
It's a rough game to play. Rough game to play. Encourage everyone, if you think you might have a problem with your ticker, go get checked out, because we don't need to have another emergency situation.
Tank has become the Wilford Brimley to diabetes of heart health.
100%. I'm going full PSA here, because my mortality just slapped me in the face last week. And so now all of you who are in my age range, whether you're 35 to 75, get yourself checked out if you're not a healthy gentleman or female, for that matter. Daily draft today. We want to do rookies in the preseason?
Impressive rookies through the training camp preseason times.
Okay.
And we feel like we took Bijan Robinson out of this because that's like the layup. I mean, he barely played. Yeah, he was really good. We all already knew that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, he plays the easiest position to transfer to the NFL. So we're kind of taking him out.
So the question is, where do you start?
Well, for me, it's none of the quarterbacks.
I don't think anybody's looked impressive.
Bryce Young looked impressive in one practice that I was on site for.
He had
outside of that.
I was going to say he had impressive moments.
Yeah. And that's typically what rookies are going to do.
Mm-hmm. Now we'll see him again starting tonight for the Carolina Panthers. Frank Reich saying earlier this week that he wants to get more reps for all of the starters. So tonight on our sister station, Rock 105.1, as the Carolina Panthers host the Detroit Lions at Bank of America Stadium, you'll be able to hear that game on the iHeartRadio airwaves here in Asheville. Who's got first pick? Is it me or you?
We'll go with you.
Okay, I've got first pick.
Solely because I think it'll be easier if you have to draft in front of me.
Yeah, probably so. I'll go number one pick for me, Zay Flowers. I have been super impressed. I mean, I know he's got a lot of talent. We watched him at Boston College, and he did special things. And I get that you gotta consider the competition in the preseason. But so far, to me, it looks like he is going to be the X factor.
Everything I build him to be.
The X factor for the Baltimore Ravens offense this year.
I tend to agree with that. I mean, look, you've seen in small pieces in the preseason what he can be. If you believe the reports coming out of their camp, he has been absolutely indefensible. And that's kind of what I told you he was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
He is really, really good. And I think he is – I think he's the one in Baltimore. They just don't want to tell us that. I think it's going to become very obvious over the course of the year. And Odell Beckham Jr. has been in mothballs because he's coming back off the injuries and things like that. I understand that. Zay Flowers is better. He's just flat out better right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel as though, being the draft nerd that I am, I should leave the first round picks to you.
Okay, thank you.
And so I will draft guys that are a little more off the beaten path, didn't go in the first round. My first one is, and he's been popular in fantasy drafts, and he should be, because he's going to get a lot of opportunity. It's Tank Dell. We talked about him a lot in the pre-draft process. And I said when he got drafted, I'm not sure that he didn't wind up with the best team that he could possibly have landed with. Because how many receivers on that team do you actually feel good about? Now, you can see that as a blessing or a curse, because yes, he's going to get more reps. Yes, he's going to get more opportunity. He's also playing with a rookie quarterback. He's playing with a roster that is, we'll say it's not good. And that could stunt him a little bit. But it's been obvious to me. And I've watched a good amount of the Texans preseason. You know, they played New England in the first game, played Miami in the second game. Those were two I was really locked and interested in. It's obvious to me he's the number one receiver for the Houston Texans. I know we went in the third round. I know. I don't care. He's that dude. And he's going to be that dude.
Mm-hmm.
And if he somehow lasts until the 13th, 14th round of your fantasy drafts, you should be finding a way to do that.
Tank Dale. All right, after Tank.
I've tried to find a way to not take the guy I'm going to have to take next because I liked the talent. I didn't necessarily not like where he was going to fit, and so I didn't love him through the entire pre-draft process.
Mm-hmm.
And then when New England drafted him, I went, well, if you stand him up, I hate it. If you put his hand in the dirt, then that's probably going to work. It's Keon White. Look, New England has made it very obvious we're sticking to our guns. We're going to play really good defense. We're going to try to run the ball because we don't have a quarterback that can beat you.
We're doing the same thing we always do.
Keon White's probably the second best pass rusher on that team right now. And coming from that outside technique with your hand down, that's difficult to do. There's not a lot of guys in the NFL that are there. I can't tell you he's going to start right off the bat, but he's going to get a lot of snaps, and I would say he's going to get a lot of pressures.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure that they're not going to play him in more places. That may not make me like him as much. I want him to play that one position, get really good at that. Then if you want to be versatile with him, more power to you.
Mm-hmm.
Get good at that. This is not an easy position.
Right.
But I've seen a lot out of him that makes me think that's going to be a hit for New England.
Let's see. Guy that, I mean, there's a lot of hype. Obviously, every team's got hype around their draft picks. They want you to feel like they didn't screw this up. Right.
Yeah, at this point, if they're denigrating picks, you should just probably chalk that up to, well, that didn't go our way.
I will say, though, I have seen some highlights from the preseason action for the Tennessee Titans, though, that makes me think they got it right with Peter Skoronski.
That's one that you should take very highly.
That dude is a beast. And look, I know this team is not going to be great, okay? They're going to take a step back because they have suffered, just attrition on the offensive line over the last few years.
Well, the line's awful.
And
that's really you're saying it in a nice way. That line is awful.
But Peter Skoronski is a great building block back to relevance. Somebody said something. I think it was in the chat the other day when we were talking about coaches on the hot seat. Somebody mentioned Mike Vrabel. I hadn't even thought about Mike Vrabel even kind of being on a hot seat. But you think he is?
It depends on what you consider hot seat.
I mean, if this
team goes 5-12,
yes,
it's gonna be talked about.
It'll be talked about, but will it be done? Does that put him on the hot seat? Because I don't think he's on one now. Last year wasn't that terrible.
All right, if we were rating hot seats on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being Andy Reid and 10 being Brandon Staley, I would say Mike Vrabel he's at a solid 4 right now.
Mm-hmm.
He can get to an 8 with a real bad season. I don't necessarily think they're going to do that. I don't know how, because that roster lends itself to you're going to be genuinely awful. But I could see a path that somehow he coaches it up and it just works.
My next selection is a blue collar guy that's going to a blue collar team or has gone to a blue collar team. And he's just going to slide in and he's going to make that defense take a leap this year. And it's Jack Campbell, the linebacker out of Iowa.
Wouldn't have been in my top 50. Just
Why?
So clear. Not even positive he starts. Not even positive he starts. I mean, he's been fine.
Mm-hmm.
There's been nothing to say, oh, this is not going the way we want it to.
No, I mean, I feel like the snaps that he's gotten, he's been in on every play.
Yeah, he wouldn't have. He was nowhere up there for me.
There's
one you haven't said yet, and if you don't, I will feel the urge to jump in and say it,
mm-hmm.
because he would have been my 2. But if you don't get there, I'll get there momentarily.
Okay. All right.
Well, I mean, like I said, I'm not trying to denigrate Jack Campbell. It's just a really difficult position to learn. He's at best going to be their second linebacker this year because Alex Anzalone really has he's got a lock on the signal caller job, which is a good thing.
Yeah,
I don't
absolutely.
necessarily want Campbell doing that off the jump. It's a tough position to learn, and he's fine. Just would not have been on my list.
Interesting.
So I can't take first rounders, and I've got so many of these. I'm going to take the obvious one because we got a commercial break coming up.
Okay.
And I fully believe he's going to be one of the – this will be one of those that years from now we look back and go, how in the world did he fall as far as he did? It's A.T. Perry. We screamed this from the mountaintops for 2 solid rounds. Somebody is going to take him eventually. And I'm not sure, looking at the depth chart of the Saints right now, he may start as the 4. I won't be shocked if he's the 2 in 6 weeks. Certainly the second outside receiver with Michael Thomas playing out of the slot. I mean, he showed it against the Kansas City Chiefs. He's shown it in practices. He's been the talk of Saints camp. We hit one on this guy. And this is why, and I say this in every draft season, and don't be shocked when next year it's the A.T. Perry list because I screamed this. Be careful what you believe when you start going down these rabbit holes. Nothing that caused him to fall was because of talent. He was a second-round talent. We told you from that from Jump Street.
It was all physical, right?
No.
Oh, I thought it was. It was trouble.
No, I'm not. I'm giving no credence to it because I found out too much on the backside. Now, I also don't want to say, oh, there was nothing to it because I wasn't there. So, yeah, I'm not. People have asked. If you've asked me in a private message, I've told you. But I'm not going to give it any credence here. And he's going to be a dog.
A dog.
New Orleans got a good one.
Okay.
And he's going to help Derek Carr a lot.
All right, A.T. Perry, Jeremy's third pick in today's Daily Draft. The Daily Draft will continue after the break.
I have to pare down my list because I only have, I don't know, there were 236 guys that went outside of round 1. Probably could put 100 on this list, so I got to pare it down to 3 more. And I got 3.5 minutes to do it. Let's go.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic stop and go 26 westbound between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound again stop and go near the French Broad River. 26 eastbound slow between Long Shoals Road and Airport Road. In the Inca Village area, Sardis Road, both directions between Sand Hill Road and Bavard Road. Traffic is stop and go. An accident on the eastbound side. Near Avery Creek, Bavard Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Hendersonville Road north and southbound approaching Long Shoals Road, heavy delays. Sweeten Creek Road north and southbound approaching Mills Gap Road, heavy delays. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's Breakfast 2 for $3 Biggie Bundles. Wendy's new Breakfast 2 for $3 Biggie Bundles lets you choose from your fave 4, including a sausage or egg and cheese biscuit, small seasoned potatoes, or medium hot coffee. Limited time only during breakfast hours. U.S. price and participation may vary. Not valid in a combo. Single item at regular price.
Discover credit cards automatically double all the cash back you earn at the end of your first year, which means... Wait, hold up. Question for the audio engineer.
Go ahead.
Did I read that right? Discover automatically doubles all your cash back?
Yeah, that's what the script says.
So if I get a Discover card right now, I can earn twice the cash back.
Apparently. Wait! Unlimited first-year cash back match. Only from Discover. See terms and learn more at discover.com/match.
In a world where thrills never stop, $1 million is on the line. And your fate is decided every 4 minutes by a bunch of random numbers with...
Dan, I think Keno's exciting enough without you doing the voice.
But my talents add a little something, right?
I guess.
Carolina Keno. $1 million thrills every 4 minutes.
Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds to win. A price range from 1 to 3.86 to 16.63. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Gillette Intimate gives guys a gentle and easy shave on there. And around there. And even under there. Don't treat your groin like junk. Respect it with Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
Attention, it's time for the morning announcements. Make sure your parents are aware of the Ingalls Tools for Schools program and ask them to link their Ingalls Advantage card to our school. Remember, you have to do it each year. Now please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
Are you Beer City's best fantasy football player? Your chance to prove it is back. The Sportsocracy's battle for the belt is back for year 2 with 2 ways to win. Our standard contest and the new Eliminator Challenge for the most hardcore of football fans. Play fantasy football with us every week of the NFL season and compete for a cause with proceeds benefiting Evelyn Charity's St. Nicholas Project. Register today at thesportsocracy.com and take your shot at the title of Beer City's fantasy football champion.
Sportsocracy.
Let's make it happen. Let's keep moving forward.
I can taste that. You're Grossman. You're a Grossman. It's
Yeah,
ESPN.
you're
Asheville.
a Grossman. I don't even know what you're talking about.
92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Sudden, it smells like Funyuns in here. The kids.
Oh, your reactions to things are.
I just had a heart attack. Don't do that to me.
All right, as of Monday, that heart attack shall never be referenced again.
Indeed. I am going over a little overboard with it. But hey, you know what? Give me some leeway. Just had a heart attack.
I knew.
It's a Football Friday. We're talking about the preseason here. Daily draft. What rookies in the NFL preseason have impressed thus far? So far, I started out the draft with Zay Flowers. He is now, sorry, Stephen Tao. He is now my favorite rookie coming into this season, which is
Tank Spencer, kiss of death.
Yeah, sorry about that. And then Jeremy comes back with Tank Dell, Keon White, both great choices. Who's shocked? Bill Belichick doing it once, doing that thing that he does of I'm just going to play football the same way, and we're going to find guys that fill slot. And Keon falls into that category. Then I came back with Peter Skoronski and Jack Campbell. And after thinking about that, you like that pick a little bit better, Jeremy, than you did when I initially said
I did. I went down and listed the first rounders. I also told you a couple guys that should most certainly be on your list, which was a nice way of going, hey,
you're doing it wrong.
Take them.
You're doing it wrong. I'm
the draft guy. You're doing this incorrectly.
And then you came back with A.T. Perry, which, a 5th round pick that could end up being one of the best of the bunch in this rookie season. And then
my next one's pretty easy. Gets a little harder after this.
Mm-hmm.
It's Jacorian Bennett of the Raiders. Would you like to know how good he's been? The Raiders are not great, right?
Right.
Last preseason game, he got rested with the starters. He was 4th round pick. That's rare for a guy that went that late for them to look at him and go, we nailed that one, so we can put him in mothballs because we know exactly what he is.
Right.
He's going to be the corner starting opposite Marcus Peters. And you'll have Hobbs in the slot, which to me, if you can stay healthy, that's not that bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that bad. And with that front, with Crosby and Tyree Wilson, if he ever fully gets back on the field, and Chandler Jones, that's pretty formidable.
Stephen Tao.
He's very angry.
Damn it! There goes his ACL.
He's very angry that
not.
you put the kiss of death on
Let's
on his guy.
Let's hope not. Let's hope not. All right, so Jacorian Bennett is Jeremy's fourth selection in the rookies that have impressed in the preseason process here. You said when we started this out that we were leaving the quarterbacks out, because none of them have been like, oh my God, he's going to change the world. I mean, for small windows, maybe you thought that about Bryce Young. And then you said Bijan Robinson. And I thought, okay, well, Bijan was taken at 8, so maybe I need to leave out the guys in the top 10. But there's no way that I can leave out Jalen Carter. He has come in and immediately looked like he is going to be the force that we all thought he could be. At least us Georgia fans. Watching Jalen Carter go out there and line up in practices and get, 7 snaps against the starting offensive line in this league and get 5 pressures out of those 7 snaps, you go, okay. Well, the Philadelphia Eagles have done something special here.
Well, we said this when he was drafted. He is really, really good. And you look at the talent on that team, it kind of lends itself to, hey, that's going to be just fine.
That will be just fine. And then the final selection for me, Emmanuel Forbes. If for anything else, for not being pushed around in camp. I mean, that's the biggest highlight that I've seen from him in this offseason is the little skirmishes that he was getting into with the Baltimore Ravens during their joint practices last week. I dig that about a kid that can, come out, be doubted, and, of course, the vets are going to try to push him around, and he's not standing for it. Oh, meanwhile, when they're actually on the field, he has looked pretty good.
Yes. He is really, really good at football. A lot of teams didn't take him because he was so thin. I told you this, and you told me I was crazy when I kept telling you during the pre-draft process, Keely Ringo is getting pushed down the board. Mm-hmm. So is Christian Gonzalez.
And so is Joey Porter.
Yeah, a lot of teams saw him as safety. That's why I didn't really lump him in there.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a good point as well. And you said I was crazy, and then the first 2 that go are Devin Witherspoon and Emmanuel Forbes.
Yep.
They're talented. Both of them are talented.
Devin
Witherspoon probably needs to be getting some better advice, but they're very good at.
From all guesses at this point, this could be a hell of a cornerback class that we look back on
no
and
doubt.
go, damn, those 3 at the top were phenomenal. Because Christian Gonzalez has looked good in the preseason as well.
He has.
Now, Devin Witherspoon, has he even been on the field yet?
Not in a game.
I didn't think so.
Well, he held out for some reason.
Because he wanted all the money up front.
Yeah, which
bonus.
is stupid. I don't know who's telling you that. One of the things I'll never understand is who is telling these guys this? We're on a scale that you have 0 leverage here. Anyway.
But he didn't end up getting it.
No. If you follow our TikTok, which you should, because it's a fun watch sometimes, you probably know I'm taking this guy at some point. It's Dorian Thompson-Robinson from the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
It says a lot when a kid that was drafted that low can be so impressive that you trade Josh Dobbs, who was the vet behind Deshaun Watson. Because, look, Deshaun Watson, as much as I believe in him, there's still a question mark there. You have more of those than I do. But there's still a question mark there. And you have a 5th-round rookie behind Deshaun Watson. That screams, we have a lot of confidence in this kid. He's had one of the best preseasons I've ever seen out of a quarterback. Now, I do need to pump the brakes on some people. It's not as hard for a running quarterback in the preseason because you're facing vanilla defenses. So that part I would pump the brakes on, he's better than Deshaun Watson. I saw that way more times than I was expecting. But he's shown a lot. I think he's a starter in this league.
Mm-hmm.
Might take a year or 2, but I think he's a starter in this league. And it may never be with Cleveland. But he is going to be.
I don't think it will be. You can see a path where they sit Deshaun Watson?
Not anytime soon, but
No.
he could be the heir apparent if that doesn't go the way they expected.
I don't think so. If he looks as good, say he does get a chance to start at some point, maybe he has to fill in for a week or two, and he pops. Cleveland's not holding on to that.
No,
after what they've seen in the preseason, somebody's going to jump out and get him.
No doubt. He'll be the one that he'll be the one, and we've seen a bunch of these over the years where you've got a backup quarterback, you hit on one, and all of a sudden, oh, now this guy's worth a first-round pick. Somebody gives that up, and I could easily see the path that a year from now. I
feel, even though we denigrate them for doing the deal with Deshaun Watson, that front office is pretty smart. And they'll make that happen. If DTR shows out and they can get somebody interested and get a high-level pick out of that.
Do you have an undrafted free agent? Because I have two.
I do have an undrafted free agent.
Go ahead.
Will McDonald.
Oh, that felt good.
You remember how much I laughed when y'all took him at 15?
I didn't laugh. I was just stunned.
I did. I went, that's insane. And so far, it looks like he works in that system. Now, it's been preseason action, and has it been against all-pro level tackles in preseason action? No. But what you've seen looks really, really good.
Well, I'll say the same thing about Will McDonald that we said about Jalen Carter. You went to a place that really lends itself to what you do. Because the knock on him was always, I don't know if he can hold up against the run.
Mm-hmm. He doesn't have
awesome. You don't have to. I have those dudes. Jermaine Johnson is that dude. Carl Lawson is that dude. I need you to come in and see ball, get ball, kill quarterback. And you do that real good. I have two undrafted free agents. One of them is an offensive lineman, so I'm not going to say much about it, but don't be shocked that the Kansas City Chiefs have done it again. That they added an offensive tackle that's going to end up being really good, and I actually have a third one now that I think about it.
Okay.
I saw it in the chat. Evan Doyle, he called me on my tomfoolery. Puka Nacua from the LA Rams.
Mm-hmm.
He's been real good. And Andrea Ishivas. Look, it's spelled Ishivas, and that's how I said through the pre-draft process. Nobody should have been. It's what I do.
Yeshivas.
He is real good. The only reason I didn't take those two higher, I'm not really sure what your path to playing time is. Yeshivas is on a team that's.
There's no spot for him to play.
Yeah, what has to happen? Chernobyl for you to get on a field. I mean, you're coming in as the 5,
right?
As good as you have been, and Nacua. The only reason I didn't say him is because he does like damn near the same thing that Cooper Kupp does, and I don't know that you can have the two of them on the field at the same time. I also don't know how you keep him off the field. So that's one of those that I have to just kind of throw my hands up and go, hey. Right. Sean McVay is my age, but he's way smarter than me. So I'm really glad you have to figure that out, and I don't.
Bill Booty Cheeks says no Deuce Vaughn.
Okay, that's a. I understand why you asked that. For me, a running back would have to be almost out of this world for me to put you on a list like this, because it's such an easy position to come in and pick up. Because you got to look at what he's being asked to do right now. So he's never being asked to pass pro because he's 5'6".
Right.
That's the hardest part of playing running back. I always knew he was a satellite. He's going to get the ball in space and be really tough to bring down because he's so shifty. None of that surprises me. So I mean, I understand why you asked it, but for me, I felt that way with several running backs because I could have put Tajay Spears. He's looked really good for the Titans. Trying to think off the top of my head if there's been another one that I really was impressed by. Those are the top two off the top of my head.
Mm-hmm.
That weren't first rounders because I
Deion Henley. Is he the one that's being shouted out here? Chauncey Major said the Chargers have a rookie linebacker really good. Forgot his name. Was it Deion Henley or is it that Tuli Polulutu?
Tuapalatu is not he's a defensive lineman.
Oh,
so
okay.
Yeah, that would have to be Deion Henley, and he's been really good. He's just another one. I'm not really sure what your path to playing time is because I'm not sure how he plays with what's already in place.
Mm-hmm.
I could have said the same thing about Dorian Williams with the Buffalo Bills. He's been good, too. We may see you on special teams exclusively for a year.
Osiris Torrance. He's gotten a lot of pub with the Buffalo Bills.
If he's not a starter, Buffalo did it wrong.
I think he will be.
I
as
do
bad
too.
as that offensive line is.
I do too.
He has been a small bright spot in the not so good preseason.
I can't remember off the top of my Ryan Bates. That's who he's pushing out of the starting lineup. And I would, if it doesn't happen week 1, it will have happened by week 6.
Okay,
they need an injection of spark.
You're in the Sportsocracy.
You're in the Sparkocracy.
Well, I mean, you've interrupted me twice. Okay.
Hey, you just had a heart attack. So
yes.
You just take it easy over there, okay?
I have indeed. Oh, everybody breathe. We're gonna take a minute, lower the blood pressure, and then when we come back, it'll be time for the most important message of the day here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
We are tracking some thunderstorms in from the north, trying their best to come down from Virginia, and rich tropical air in play for the weekend, with thunderstorms likely late this weekend and early next week. Our temperatures in the mid-60s for tonight. Mostly sunny, hot weather. Saturday, upper 80s, near 90s. Feels like the heart of summertime here in Asheville. And thunderstorm chances Sunday, Monday. Cooler numbers early next week. I'm meteorologist Scott Laria-Moore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic stop and go 26 westbound between Airport Road and the French Broad River. Stardust Road northbound is stop and go between Brevard Road and Sand Hill Road due to an accident. Hendersonville Road northbound approaching Mills Gap Road is stop and go. Sweeten Creek Road north and southbound approaching Mills Gap Road delays both directions. Near Arden Airport Road near I-26, a disabled vehicle has the left lane closed over I-26. I'm Lynn Benfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Valero. Start saving on the road with Valero's 100 Days of Summer. Get fuel-saving snacks, swag, and more every day all summer long. Only with Valero Pay Plus. Download the app and start saving right now. Additional terms and conditions apply.
The NFL is back, and your free iHeartRadio app is your home for the NFL Podcast Network with full coverage of all 32 NFL teams. Get in-depth analysis from the pros on around the NFL. Win bragging rights at this year's draft with tips from the NFL Fantasy Football Podcast and more. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
Over 50,000 police officers are assaulted each year. Help police by not escalating. Address any complaints after the encounter. Comply now, complain later. Keep everybody safe. This message brought to you by the National Police Association. Learn more at nationalpolice.org.
Spring in the South means the return of Atlanta Braves baseball.
There's a liner out towards center field. It will lay down. Here comes Ronald. Braves win it.
The 2023 Braves load up for another huge season.
The Braves play here on ESPN Asheville.
Running a small business is no small task. At Home Trust Bank, we work hard to prepare businesses for whatever tomorrow may bring. Your dreams are our business, and we have local experts who can help you plan for a successful future. Dependable guidance you need and service you'll appreciate. At Home Trust Bank, we take your small business banking personally. Visit your local Home Trust branch or anytime at htb.com. Member FDIC.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Back in the Sportsocracy, and time for the most important message of the day.
Don't do crimes!
Yep, and let's see here. You ever had a dispute with a neighbor?
Yeah.
You live in an apartment building. Do you have any current disputes with your neighbors?
No.
You
don't know any of them.
Okay. But you don't have, like, the loud neighbor next door that plays his bass at 3 a.m.?
No, I don't really care about those.
And you don't have the kid, the couple with the kids that are too loud above you, or
no, that's the one that irritates me. If you got kids like running down the hall, that irks me.
Yeah,
that's the dog that barks at 2:00 in the morning. But no, I don't have any.
Yeah, that's the only dispute I've ever had with a neighbor is, I gotta work a morning show job, and you got your little rugrat doing 40-yard wind sprints above my head at 11 o'clock at night. This has got to stop. Well, in Florida, shocker of shockers, we had a dispute between neighbors that went way too far. So apparently last year, this guy named Umar Abdullah, he and his pregnant wife were living in a condo in Tampa, and they were welcomed into the community, according to the story, by everyone. Except after the kid was born, apparently one of the neighbors got a little testy. Zhu Ming Li is this guy's name. And they said he seemed like a regular guy to start out with. And then after the baby was born, he started to complain because, what do babies do? They cry, right? All the time. Brand new babies. I mean, unless you get lucky and you get one of those that's just, a freak, let's be honest. Those of you who have kids know exactly what I'm talking about. Those parents that come to the socials and they're like, "Oh, my kids are perfect. They sleep 8 hours just from the moment they came home from the hospital." And you go, "I hate you so much because I can't remember the last time I got 8 hours of sleep. I can't remember the last time I got 3 hours of contiguous sleep." So anyway, apparently the baby and the noise was keeping this guy up, and he complained about it, and they were like, "What do you want us to do about it? It's a baby." Well, the guy apparently decided he had had enough of the baby, and after a while they started to smell something weird in the apartment, and Mr. Abdullah went down all the paths of trying to figure out what it was. They called in everybody, from the maintenance people to HVAC companies to come in and check out what's going on. He got to the point after all of the tries where he finally went, maybe this is me. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm just thinking that there's a smell somewhere. And then the baby gets sick. And he was like, I smell that smell again. Couldn't figure it out. Baby gets sick again. He's like, something's happening here. So he goes and he sets up cameras all around his domicile and out in the hallway. And then he finally catches the culprit in the act. So apparently Mr. Lee is he is a grad student in chemistry at the University of South Florida. And he got caught on the little spy cam in the hallway of taking a syringe with a liquid in it and squirting it into a corner of their door. And apparently it was this concoction of hydrocodone and another opioid that when the chemical reaction happens, it makes people sick. And so now this guy's facing major charges because that, my friends, is chemical weapons use.
Which is federal.
Excuse me. It was a combination of hydrocodone and methadone that he was squirting into the crack of the doorway to make these people sick. That is just a horrific human being. Special place in hell for somebody who will poison a baby because, my sleep's been interrupted by the baby next door. Yikes.
My story, not quite as heavy as yours, for the 400th time. My story's about Phil Mickelson, and apparently he is as superstitious as I am. Because do you remember the year that he won his first Masters? That was 2004.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's a little chipping area at Augusta. It's not a driving range because you can't have a driver on it.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a little place, and he did this drill. It's called the towel drill. Basically what he would do, he would lay down towels and use them as targets. And he would go through all the clubs in his bag to get his distances right. That happened in 2004. He credits that with his win. Fast forward to 2005. He gets to the same spot, and now there's a sign that says East Practice Tee for short game practice only. What that means is you can't hit anything that's a numerical iron.
Okay.
So you can't do the towel drill here. Well, Phil, being the originative gent that he is, said after the champions dinner, I let all the champions leave first, and I go down Magnolia Lane. Park the car, kind of crawl under the magnolias, and I take that sign, I wiggle and I wiggle, I lift and I yank it out, I throw it at the back of my SUV, and off I go. So I show up the next morning, no sign there, start hitting my shots, do my towel drill, do it all week long. Finish 10th. The next year he shows up at Augusta, and guess what has returned? The sign. They made another one. He did it again. He wins Augusta for the second time, second green jacket. So, of course, in 2007, he's got to do it again. Well, the only problem is that he figures out the fourth year, this is a place that's pretty high on security. They probably have a camera on this at this point. So he said, now I don't have a choice. I have to just leave it alone. And at the end of this, he told all of this on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
He did it was a Twitter, Instagram thing. So he tells this story. And at the end of it, he holds up one of the signs he stole and said, just in case you think I'm lying, here's the proof. Phil has 0 falafels to give.
Good for him. Good for him.
I don't even know that that I am that superstitious.
13's tattooed all over your body.
It's always my number.
Yeah. That's pretty superstitious, don't you think?
Yeah. I don't know that I'm that superstitious. I'm going to steal a sign.
I mean, if it works
I
once,
would never steal a road sign.
Please.
I would never.
You're in the Sportsocracy. That's what a lie sounds like.
I have never.
I know that's what a lie sounds like.
I don't own a street sign that says Mullet Drive.
Mm-hmm. Do you really? Maybe.
What are you,
a cop?
Well, I mean, I want you to think about this. I've only had a mullet for 3 years. So.
Indeed.
You can figure that one out for yourself.
And the police report reads, alcohol was involved.
Wasn't in Buncombe County. Travel a lot. Always helps.
The week 0 of college football is here. The final bangers of the day coming up in just a few moments here in the Sportsocracy.
It's so good. First time I hear underdog for the year, that's what I know.
Yeah.
It's go time.
It is go time. Notre Dame and Navy tomorrow at 2:30, and then you got USC and San Jose State at the 8 o'clock slate on Saturday night.
And if you bet these games. Bet them aggressively. I've given you a wager on every one of these games. If you go to the Tic Tac, the InstaFace, the Facebook, because I can't think of a funny way to say that one, I got prop bets on all these games that you can take to bet us and wager those as well. Don't watch them. Don't watch them. This is the last Saturday. Take your spouse. Have a picnic somewhere.
Yeah.
Have some fun.
Enjoy the pool.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to be doing.
In the house.
That's what I'm going to be doing because
it's over.
Yeah, and next week we're fully in. That's the full push for week 1 of the college football season. NC State's going to play next Thursday night. Patrick Holt, I know he's already got his activities lined up for that one.
Aren't they playing like Elon or something like that?
Let's see here. They are playing UConn.
Same thing.
Future ACC matchup right there.
That's not a future ACC matchup.
And then the Tar Heels play next Saturday, Bank of America Stadium against South Carolina. You got the full day of football, and then next Sunday will be draft day at the Village Porch, 51 North Merriman Avenue, kicking off our year with the Ultimate Fantasy Draft Contest winners. Justin Parton and his group going to be drafting at the Village Porch, and then we're going to do the show draft after that, and then we're going to hang around after that to drink even more and to watch the LSU-Florida State game.
I'm going to have 11 beers if Florida State wins.
Right.
I'm going to have 1,200 beers if they lose.
It's all in full swing here. You interested in the Tour Championship this weekend?
I think this is such a stupid way to determine golf.
Why?
Well, Scotty Scheffler had a 10-shot lead. He didn't even have the day 2 lead because Colin Morikawa was 9 under.
Mm-hmm.
Scotty Scheffler said before this tournament, this is a really stupid way to choose the champion.
I'm going to disagree because at least it gives
it's like
us
NASCAR. You do all this over the course of the year, and then none of it matters.
Yeah. I mean, at least it gives us drama at the end, and that's what's going to drive the
Usually
eyeballs.
it doesn't. This is the closest the field has been after 18 holes in the history of this little event.
Mm-hmm. Looking at the leaderboard right now, you got Victor Hovland on top, 16 under. Colin Morikawa's in second. Scotty Scheffler in third. They're all within 2 strokes of each other. So it could be a great finish. Plus, you got John Rahm and Xander Schauffele. And Keegan Bradley all tied for 4th at 12 under. So they're 4 shots off the lead with still 2 rounds to go.
That'll probably be my Sunday. I'll probably just be kicked back, watch that last preseason football game.
Mm-hmm.
Hope nobody gets hurt for any team. That's the objective this weekend.
Yeah. You don't want to see anybody
all we
get
want.
hurt.
Just T's and P's for all the knees
and away we go.
Mm-hmm.
We're ready for the season to start. Don't forget to get in on the battle for the belt, DFS football, with us each and every week. You got the standard contest and the eliminator challenge.
We got James Rorick. I hope I said his name correctly. That is a new sponsor of that. We will tell you more about what he does in the coming weeks. If you want to be a sponsor for this contest, we now only have 2 spots left. So message me over the weekend. We've had a lot of people reach out about this, and then Jeremy does that thing that he does, and he goes squirrel and forgets things. And so if you would like to be a sponsor of this contest, please reach out to me this weekend. If you want to in this contest, to be on the shirts, you got to be in by next week. All right, so by the time you hear bangers next week, you need to be in.
Yep. Follow all of the links in the description of the YouTube video. It's also posted on the front page of the Sportsocracy.com. Proceeds from the Battle for the Belt, as did last year, going to Eblin Charities St. Nicholas Project. Captain Obvious with a poll question suggestion: do you drink more when your team wins or loses? And I love the answers. Yes. Everyone's answer is yes.
For me, it's probably loses, but I don't really remember.
We will be back with you to wrap up all the weekend action on Monday here in the Sportsocracy.
But don't turn that dial. We still got bangers left.
It is a
Football Friday
here in the Sportsocracy. We'll see you Monday.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic stop and go 26 westbound between Airport Road and the French Broad River. 26 eastbound slow between Long Shoals Road and Airport Road. Sardis Road northbound slow between Brevard Road and Sand Hill Road due to an accident. Sweeten Creek Road north and southbound approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Near Avery Creek, Brevard Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. I'm Lehman Fuel with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples has great prices on everything you need for back to school. Right now, a 24-pack of Crayola crayons and comp books are just 50 cents each, and select notebooks are just 35 cents each. In store only. Offer ends 8/26, limit 30. School on, save on at Staples.
Get ready to win your way to our 2023 iHeartRadio Music Festival and $1,000.
You'll be there. T-Mobile Arena here in Las Vegas, September 22nd and 23rd.
Streaming live only on Hulu.
iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Capital One is a proud partner of the iHeartRadio Music Festival for the 7th year in a row, bringing great products, rewards, and services to its customers. What's in your wallet?
To start the season, spray away stress. Get rid of grime. Clear the nerves. Do away with dirt and doubt. And lose the germs. For less worry and more wins. When you get to a clean slate, The possibilities are endless. Clorox. Start clean. Always use products as directed.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? Just go to 4hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to 4hims.com/joy. That's FORHIMS.com/JOY.
Our iHeartRadio Music Festival is coming back to T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas this September.
Superstar artists from every genre.
Streaming live only on Hulu.
Buy tickets now at AXS.com.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
Attention, it's time for the morning announcements. Make sure your parents are aware of the Ingalls Tools for Schools program and ask them to link their Ingalls Advantage card to our school. Remember, you have to do it each year. Now please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Coffee store closes on. Get them the money. Then when you get the money, you get the power. That watch costs more than your car. Then when you get the power, then you get the woman.
For those of you that are new, this is what's going to happen every week in this time slot. Because 5:50 is when I give you all of my favorite.
Underdog, 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 underdog.
Speed of lightning, roar of thunder, Ohio University, the Bobcats, led by the Maple Messiah himself, Curtis Rourke, a Canadan that pulls on the heartstrings of my better heart. They're a 3-point dog at San Diego State, and that is stupid. Ohio returns 9 starters and their quarterback. San Diego State brings back Brady Hoke. Do those two things sound similar to you? Because they don't sound equal to me for some reason. Give me Ohio as my first dog of the year, but that's not even my favorite kind of dog.
Oh, you didn't know? Your ass better call somebody.
My favorite dog is the road dog, and I got one that I love, and it's the Jacksonville State Gamecocks, plus 1.5 against UTEP. Their first game in FBS. They've won 7 conference titles in the last 8 years. This team can run it down your throat. And you know what they do really well? They don't turn the ball over. This is going to be a slow-paced game, which is weird because there's something, it feels like it's just deep in my soul that's bringing me to Jacksonville State. And I don't know what it West Virginia, baby! Rich Rodriguez is your coach of the Jacksonville State Gamecocks, and he's not starting 0-1. Give me Jacksonville State in the money line to pull the upset over UTEP. Take all these picks to bettus.com, use promo code Sportsocracy, or you can go to any of the social medias, find our Bitly link that will take you straight to it. They'll give you a 125% deposit bonus just for mentioning our name. That's all the free winnings you could possibly want at bettus.com, promo code Sportsocracy.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
We are tracking some thunderstorms in from the north, trying their best to come down from Virginia, and rich tropical air in play for the weekend with thunderstorms likely late this weekend and early next week. Our temperatures in the mid-60s for tonight. Mostly sunny, hot weather Saturday, upper 80s, near 90s. Feels like the heart of summertime here in Asheville. And thunderstorm chances Sunday, Monday, cooler numbers early next week. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving time ago, 26 westbound between Airport Road and 2 approaching Bavard Road. 26 eastbound slow between Long Shoals Road and Airport Road. On the Captain Jeff Bowen Bridge, volume is busy but moving well. Smoky Park Highway, no incidents. Patton Avenue, problem-free. New Leicester Highway, no delays. Sweeten Creek Road, north and southbound, approaching Mills Gap Road, slow. Checking the drive time from Biltmore Forest to Fletcher via Hendersonville Road southbound. Drive time 14 minutes. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Labor Day savings start now at Lowe's. Save on select 3-quart mums. Right now, just 2 for $12. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 8/30 in-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Gillette Intimate gives guys a gentle and easy shave on there. And around there. And even under there. Don't treat your groin like junk. Respect it with Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
From the Ingalls